All right, everybody, it's time for another Good Movies podcast. And as usual, it's Kenny from Kenny's Movie Palace and Sean from Movie Assault. I'm Low
Hey,
IQ Media. And what's going on, everybody?
hey, everybody.
Not a whole lot.
Oh, hopefully, Michael Jonas later. So I don't know. He never did get back to me. He said he thought it would be no problem. But so
Things happen.
I don't know if we have much of a trajectory or not. We didn't really list any movies. Oh, yeah, here comes Mike. But right on time. Right on time, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, how's it
Hi,
going?
Mike.
Can anybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Need to probably move your camera down. Your where it's setting low. It's causing you to the green
Disappear.
screen to cut out. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we just got started, Mike. We
Okay.
hit time. I wasn't sure how long you were going to be, so we went ahead and started on. If I'd have waited like 30 seconds later, you can hear for the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got to. Oh, sorry, I've cut you off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say yeah, I was cutting it close.
Yeah, I've still got to make an animation for our intro, but I haven't sat down and done that yet. I guess tag something on the end of the countdown reel there. I haven't made it yet, so
Cool.
but I like After Effects, that program, but it's just like I don't have the artist I can't draw, I'm not a artist in that sense, and if I could, that program would be just like endless because it's just an amazing. It's an animation program, and
Mhm.
it's basically like Photoshop and Premiere Premiere Pro built into one program plus animation. You can do rotoscope and all kinds. It's just and I can do the basics and do basic animations. It's got preset stuff I usually use a lot, and it's just the people who make really great intros and things. It's just the kind of work and time it takes to do that. It's really impressive. But if you can do things yourself, you can draw yourself, and you can animate in and animate graphics in like that. That's the best way. And I'm not really proficient at that kind of stuff. But so, what have you guys been? Have you guys seen any movies this week, or what movies have you seen? Of course, we've all watched movies. I haven't been to the theater in like a couple of weeks now, or a few now. So
Yeah, it's been a while since I went to the theater. I think the last movie I went to see was Strays, and that was back in August.
Last one I seen was Guardians 3. That was opening weekend, so what was that?
That was what,
May?
May?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man, the last Spider-Verse one was the one I saw.
Yeah.
Last at the movies.
I'm trying to think what I saw last. I went and seen something. I got a friend that I go see movies with, but I was just talking to him today. He didn't. I want to go see the haunting in Venice,
Mhm.
That looks
and
good.
he's like, "Oh, I don't want to see that." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna see it." Yeah. He don't know
Yes.
anything about Poirot. He knows mainstream stuff, and that's about all he knows. But he's sometimes he'll want to see something I don't really want to see, and it's just and it's a good thing because it gets me to see something that maybe I normally wouldn't have saw. That it might just be a fun movie to see, but it's not really a great movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you all have like a designated like movie person to go to other than your spouses, Sean and Mike?
Well, I usually go to concerts like with one of my good buddies, but
Yeah, that's
usually,
what I did too.
but usually with the movies, I generally either go with my boys or we go all together as a family. But
Gotcha.
I usually go by myself, which is sad, but that's fine.
well, actually,
that's the story of my life.
Actually, I take that back, guys. The last movie I saw was Raging Bull, at the museum. Yeah,
Oh,
and I went by
Oh,
and
that's right.
and I went by myself. So you just reminded me of that, Sean. So
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
experience going by yourself, but like sometimes
Mhm.
like you miss that conversation,
Yeah.
with somebody
Yeah.
about it, like coming home.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
When I do reviews for my website, if I go back and look, I can look at all of the reviews on my website and I can remember who I was with or whether I watched it by myself or whether it was on TV or whether it was in the theater. I usually can remember that stuff. I could probably remember that stuff better than the movie itself after a period of time, but it's just weird. It's just a cool experience. I just love going to the movies, so I'm fine
Yeah.
going by myself.
yeah. Yeah, depending on what it is, like Raging Bull, I kind of wanted to go by myself so I didn't have to explain anything to some, like my wife has seen it and she's very familiar with the music and everything in it, but I don't know. I just wanted to like focus on it and just not, But yeah, but I do like the drive home talking about a movie, like the newer movies and stuff.
Yeah, I was telling a story on my last video about my last box opening that we went meet. It was usually like in the 90s. I had like 4 other, besides my brother, 3 other friends that would go to the movies, and we would go like every Saturday. We'd pick a movie between the 5 of us. And this Saturday, we all wanted to see Small Soldiers, that animated one, where they are like all that's right, Small Soldiers. Yeah.
Is that
And
the
we
action
went
figure?
in there, and there was just like a whole bunch of mother, fathers, and kids, and you had like 5 of us walking in because we all wanted to see the movie. And I said, my buddy looked over at me. He goes, "They all think we're pedophiles, dude." You know?
yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they thought that back when that movie came out. I don't know if that was so much in the lexicon. Maybe these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying because we just all got looks, when we
Yeah.
went in, and it was just kind of like funny.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, you never know
Yeah.
these days,
Yeah, that was what, 96, something like that.
Oh, 96. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Small Soldiers with Phil Hartman.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that directed by Joe Dante?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always forget about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Am I thinking about the right movie? I'm thinking about the one with the little action figures come to life.
Mhm.
Ones
yeah,
or-
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. There's another movie that's got a familiar name. It's like little. Is there like a Little Soldiers, or it's like a
Toy
like
Soldiers.
a drama? Toy Soldiers. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one
Yeah.
with Sean Astin, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget. There's I like a little. I have that. I watched your video the other day too, Kenny. That's why I was hitting at in that thing a bit. I don't always leave comments because I told you why before.
That's
but-
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I guess when Sean brought up about Joe Dante, that's why
Yeah.
Explorers was on
Yeah.
the same disc as Small Soldiers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a DVD.
Mhm.
I got it at Walmart for $5. I was I was so excited because Explorers was
Yeah.
like one of my like grails to go into, and I'm just like looking around, and I see at the end it was like about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was in a double pack with Small
Yeah.
Soldiers, and I'm like, oh, I like both of these movies. But this was before the Arrow. Is it Arrow that came out with the Explorers pack?
Blu-ray. Yeah.
The Blu-ray?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Was it
Shout Factory.
Shout
Yeah.
Factory. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Shout. Yeah.
Yeah, and Little Soldiers is on. It's on Blu-ray as well.
Oh, okay.
But I bought that set. I think it was before both of those came out. That set came out. I bought both of them, and I own at least. I think I own both of them on DVD. But I thought it's such a cool 2-pack. It might be, it might be something rare in the future. Fine. I don't think it is. I think I've seen it everywhere since. So I don't think it's.
I was
super
just
rare,
I was just happy to get it because I really wanted to see Explorers again because I hadn't seen that since we went to the movies to see it, and then of course we had rented it.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater too as a kid.
When
Yeah,
did that come
we
out?
like 80,
86.
5 or
Okay.
6.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw. We had like where I grew up I grew up in a small town, and we had like one of those kind of one horse theaters. It was a one horse town. It was like just it's a single screen
Oh
theater,
yeah.
and they had the marquee outside with or had the movie posters. It would have what's coming next week and the week in 2 weeks
Oh,
and
that's neat.
1 week, and then they would play one movie a weekend. And so
Mhm.
if that movie played, I remember seeing that there. I think the last movie I saw there, I probably saw a lot of movies I don't remember because I was young, but I do remember watching Explorers. It's such a memorable movie.
Hmm.
But the last movie I saw there, I'm pretty sure it was like Ernest Scared Stupid. I think that was the last one I saw there. So
Yeah. Yeah, we had a theater like that. It was one screen, and then all of a sudden they did some renovations, and it was 3 screens. It was like, wow.
yeah,
Because I saw Return of the Jedi there, and like Unforgiven, a couple other, everything that came out. And then we had this bigger theater got built, so kind of a multiplex, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah,
good
we had
memories.
one when I was growing up. I don't know where it was located, but it was 2 screens, and it just kind of like inverted you like this. And on one side was Star Wars, and in the other side was Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh
Hmm.
geez.
that's cool.
I saw
And
that in the theater.
did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like, and it kept on playing there because like the Bee Gees were like really huge at that time, and of course Star Wars is Star Wars. So it was
Yeah,
just like my
Mhm.
mom used to go there shopping because that was like the closest where like Walmart and Pathmark and not Walmart. I'm sorry, Kmart, the Kmart,
okay.
and we used to have a place in Philly called Two Guys that was sort of like a Walmart, and that was like literally right in the same plaza. So mom would drop me and my brother off, give us money, and then like little bags of popcorn, and she'd like sticking it under your shirt so they don't see it, you know. So we'd go in there, and when she'd come to get us when she was done shopping, but that was like a treat to go see on Saturday. So we're not like tagging along, holding onto the cart, you know,
Right.
kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah. We had there was a theater in Sharon, Pennsylvania, where I was born and where I grew up near. It was called the Columbia, and it was like a really big, ornate, old 1920s theater that was huge.
Oh wow.
And that's where I saw Star Wars for the first time. And I can't verify it because the theater burned down in like 1980. Um, but I think I saw Star Wars in 70 millimeter when it came out because the screen was just ginormous.
Wow.
And the Death Star trench scene, the first time I went to see it, I remember when the camera like dives into the trench. I literally made me motion sick because it was so big. It was
Wow.
awesome. Every time I
Hmm.
watch the movie, I think of that because that was the first time a movie like really grabbed a hold of me like that, and I think it was because of the size of the screen. But yeah, like I said, that place burned down like 3 years later, and there was another theater on the other side of town that was one screen. I know that one was 70 millimeter because I ended up working there, and they split it right down the middle into 2 screens, and I was in the projection booth, and I actually found some 70 millimeter film laying on the floor that had like been pushed up against the wall from like splicing movies together. So I know they had a 70 millimeter projector in there. I don't remember seeing any movies there that felt the same way that Star Wars did, but I know I saw movies there.
That's cool.
But
That's
that,
really
that
cool.
was cool.
Yeah. I don't know why
Yeah,
I've never tried to get a job at a theater way back in the day to be something like that. Never occurred to me. I guess I don't know. But there was probably somebody that was dedicated. They didn't need another projectionist or somebody. But I would have loved to just learn. Been mentored or something for free. I would have went there for free or something. Just to learn stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Google Brain Wrap in terms of a projector, and any first time you deal with that, you'd want to be paid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I loved being a projectionist, but I would do it for free. Now, my last job in a theater was just 10 years ago, I got hired to be to build up and tear down the movies that were still on film. And then they got a notification that they were closing the theater down before I had a chance to go in and work at all. So I was literally an employee for like 2 days, and I just went through orientation, and that was about it.
Oh man,
So I didn't get a chance to actually do anything there. But that was the last time I worked in a theater, because it was a budget, like a second run theater, and they got shut down because they weren't going to convert it to digital. It was too expensive, so they just shut it down.
Yeah,
If they went digital, they would have not needed me anyway, so it didn't really matter.
There's a couple of Facebook groups that deal with projectionists and stuff, and it's pretty cool. It's all around the world, and people will show pictures of projectors and stories, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know. You might be able to find that on there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd have to check that out. I never even thought about looking for a projectionist group on Facebook. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of pictures and info.
That's cool. Yeah, I just didn't have. Well, like I was saying, that little theater it probably went out when I was in middle school. So by the time I kind of got to working age, I didn't really have a place to go. And like where I live now, the town I live in now is like basically one town over from where I grew up at. And like by the time that I moved here, when I was in high school, then really only thing they had was a Cinemark. They had another older theater, but one other older one. But I was already in school then, so I trade school. So when I got out, I started doing that kind of work. So I just never did really have an opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really just got lucky. There was an ad in a paper, and I was the first guy that showed up, but they didn't need any experience. Just tearing tickets, and then they asked me if I wanted to be the projectionist like 3-4 months later. So I totally lucked into it.
Yeah.
But he probably showed up to work on time and everything else. Sometimes that's an important thing, especially probably how old were you when you started doing that?
What year was it? I was 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, even like especially younger people, it's hard to, even back in those days, we couldn't. It's hard to find people that are reliable. So they probably had to have somebody that's pretty reliable to be a projectionist.
Yeah, I sort of became the be all do all guy at that theater, and that led me to be promoted to assistant manager at the theater up the street. And then I actually worked as the assistant manager at the theater that I was a projectionist at sometimes. So they were both run by the same company. So it was pretty easy for me to float back and forth, and they would trade movies and stuff. So it was kind of a unique situation. And then that's what led me to actually come to Cleveland, is to run a theater up here. Much later on, that wasn't until the early 2000s. I worked in theaters till 2004.
I bet the theaters now you don't even probably have to have projectionists. You probably just got to sit in the office and make sure the movie turns on. It's probably got software that runs everything. I know, in fact, that they basically download the movies, or they download them, and then I guess they pay a fee that gives them that unlocks the movie. Mm-hmm. Because I went and seen a movie last year. What was it was that film noir remake. I always forget the name of it.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley. Okay. I went to see that, and like it was me and like one other person in the theater, and the movie never started. And I was like, we sat there for about 10 minutes. So I finally got up and went to the lobby, and they're like, yeah, we're having trouble. Like they didn't get I guess the movie had ran for a while, and they didn't like re-up their code, the new access code for it. And so we end up getting like an IOU or something. We didn't, or they said that we could go watch another movie or just get our money refunded. So I just left.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I end up not seeing it in the theater. I bought it when it came out. So
yeah. I think that theater I was talking about with the 3 screens, it's now a like climate controlled storage place. So it's like, yeah, it's sad. I think it still has the marquee a little bit. It says cinema, but then
one of the theaters that's in Lexington, it started out as a Cinemark, and then it became then Cinemark moved out, and they put a dinner. It was called the Movie Tavern. It was like one of those dinner theaters where you can
Oh yeah, I've
get
been there.
food and drink. Okay,
Is it still there?
no, not in Lexington. They moved it to Nicholasville area. It's in between Lexington and Nicholasville. They built one of those big like big pavilion places. They're
Yeah.
called Brandon Crossing, and there was a Amstar there, a big gigantic theater they put in there originally called Amstar, and it moved. It went out of business, and so they moved to that location and built a big gigantic movie tavern. So it's a real nice movie tavern now.
Yeah, it's probably been about 7 years ago, but it
Yeah.
must have been the Lexington location because
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's real cool, especially you take a date on or something like that, and you can get beer. They have like that big. They call it the big tanker. You have to. What sucks about it, you have to. They sell like a big gigantic glass stein, mug,
Mhm.
big glass mug. It's probably about that big around.
Oh yeah.
About that tall. But what sucks about it is if you buy the glass, they should fill it up the first time for free, but they don't. You have to pay for the beer the first time. It don't make sense. But you can bring it back every time, though. Every time you come back, you can, and then they'll, you can get.
Yeah, you can
I
get.
don't know if it's discounted beer or whatever, but
I get sloshed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Go to the movie and just get drunk, stumble out of there after the movie or something.
Yeah.
I think we saw a dog movie. It was one of those like pulls at your heartstring dog.
Marley
movies.
and Me.
No, it was something else, and I think my wife ended up crying because it was sad. And so maybe I needed a beer that day.
Yeah.
I miss when it was like the 90s, because that was like 80s too, but like especially the 90s. I think it was Regal used to sell like popcorn buckets and like double big gulp glasses that you could always get refilled. You bought them for like about, I think, $10 a piece. Okay, and then you could get like the popcorn filled for like $2.
Mm-hmm.
And the same
That's
with
not
the
bad.
soda. So it was worth getting this big travel sized jug that they used to have.
Yeah.
They used to have. So especially when you went every week, you can just go. And then we would usually pay for one. And sorry, Sean, we snuck into another movie. That was just
Don't
getting in
this
there.
me. I used to let people sneak stuff in
shame.
all the time. If you made an attempt to sneak something in, no problem. If you
In the
blatantly
80s,
walked
we
in
did
with a
that.
McDonald's
We did
bag,
that all the time, constantly.
Yeah,
Me,
I
mom,
didn't
and my
care.
brother. We'd pay for one. We'd go there at noon and come out at like 8 o'clock at night. Because we didn't have any air conditioning by that time, so mom didn't care about. One time she slept in a movie. I think it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She fell asleep. Me and my brother were laughing our asses off, and she's like sound asleep. She's like, "Is this over yet?"
Yeah, I have a similar story. Me and my mom went and saw Dick Tracy back in 1990. I swear it was on for maybe 10 minutes and she was asleep. But she never really ever went to the movies much. I mean, not when I was a kid so much. Maybe she went before I was born, but it was rare that she went. It was just me and her, and she was sleeping very peacefully. So I was just like, okay.
Yeah, my funniest story ever, and I tell this all the time. It was me, my buddy, and my brother went, and we went to see Last Crusade, Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, the midnight showing.
Oh,
Okay. Now he had been up. My buddy Jimmy had been up since like 5 o'clock. He was a manager at a post office. Okay, so those guys work like really early hours, and I had just got done at the restaurant. He picked me up at like 11:45. He had the tickets and everything like that, so we went in there. I'm not kidding you. As soon as the music hit, dun, 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 Jimmy, you sound asleep, and you know how loud that movie was,
Oh, yeah.
And me and my brother, like Jimmy's like sitting in between me and my brother. Me and Chris are just like passing the popcorn around to each other, And then like right after, as soon as the movie ends, you hear the big blast of the crescendo of the music and stuff. Jimmy wakes up and goes, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "That was a hell of a movie, Jim." He goes, "Oh, did it start yet?" I'm like, "Dude, it's over." It's like over. He was so pissed we didn't wake him up, but he was like, I mean, sound asleep, like snoring, like it was
That's
just so
funny.
funny. Did you guys ever sleep in a movie theater?
There was a couple times
uh,
I dozed off a little bit, but
Yeah.
the last time I remember it was in the Hobbit, the final one, the
I
Battle
would
of the
do it.
Five Armies or whatever. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, that one got a little bit drawn out, boring towards the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yes.
fell asleep. Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. I zonked
Did you
out.
really? Wow.
Yeah, it took. Wasn't because the movie. I didn't like the movie. It wasn't great or anything, but I fell asleep. I had a job where I got up pretty early, and I took a date to the movie, and
Mhm.
I was out like 20 minutes into it. I think I
Yeah.
slept for like a half an hour.
I was kind of
That's how
disappointed they didn't make a third one in that, just make it a trilogy,
Yeah.
because they were pretty decent,
which one, the Hobbit,
Oh no, the
Sherlock
Sherlock
Holmes
Holmes,
ones.
Sherlock Holmes. Oh yeah,
yeah, with Robert Downey Jr. I thought they were
Yeah.
pretty decent.
I was kind of mad they didn't make another Man from Uncle movie. I know what's going on with Army Hammer, but
Right.
I thought it was a really good movie. Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
movie. I
Yeah.
thought it was really good.
Mhm.
it was real good. Yeah,
I actually haven't seen that one, unfortunately.
yeah,
It's
that's a good
it's
one.
it's actually a really good. I mean, it starts like right from the beginning. I know a
Okay.
lot of people shit on the Aladdin remake with Will Smith,
Mhm.
but I like that one too because it didn't have any boring moments for me because it just like you started right off with the chase like in the market and stuff
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and the same. I think a lot of his movies kind of start the same because they want you to get into the movie,
Yeah.
and they had
Mhm.
like with Man from Uncle, they had like a huge car chase in
Hmm.
the beginning of the movie. So,
Yeah, I don't think I ever seen that either.
oh
Well,
really?
how about we watch that for next week? Because I've
There
seen
you
it,
go.
and you
Okay.
got two people haven't seen it, and me and I've seen it, and Kenny's seen it, so
Hmm.
that would be a fun. Because I'd like to rewatch it because I've only seen it like once, I believe, and so I'd like
Okay.
to rewatch it. But it was good for when I remember.
I wonder if Tubi has it.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on Max. If you guys
It's
have
on Max. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we got Max. Yeah.
yeah, it
Okay.
is on Max.
Cool.
But that should be a fun one for us to review next week.
Hmm.
I did
good.
watch Mercenaries. You guys were talking about Mercenaries, so I wouldn't watch it last night.
It's fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's so bad. It's good.
Yeah.
Like
I forgot
even
to
Sean
tell you
said,
it was
if you
from
like,
the
because
Asylum.
I love the Asylum movies. Okay, I just think they're fun. But
Well,
this
I
one
don't.
was so bad it was good.
Yeah, I mean it did some things all right. It's just the production value was really.
Mhm.
But what was funny, I didn't know if you guys were being serious or not because I hadn't been in the conversation. So I watched it. And I was like, surely they don't think this is good, do they? Because
No.
It kind of
No,
looks like
Sean knows I like the Asylum
it
movies.
it could have been a good if it was in a big budget movie. It
Mhm.
might have been done well. It was kind of an interesting story.
Right.
But it was just, but I thought it was funny is like they were running through the woods, getting in these gun battles, and they stayed clean the whole time. Like
Right.
their hair was slicked back, till the very end. It was
Well, my favorite
hilarious.
part
Like,
was when they were in like a jungle setting, like where the airplane hangar, and then all you see, like in the far distance, is the LA skyline.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like so bad. It was funny, you
Yeah.
know. It just it it's like one of those things, and that was the other one where the little girl dies that wants to be, and all you see is there's a parking lot. If you look, they're supposed to be in this big, vast jungle, and you see a parking lot like literally right across the lot from where they're shooting this. It is really funny.
It's funny. He's the director is Fred Olin Ray's son. He made a lot of like kind of B movies. back
Oh,
in
okay.
the late '80s. Christopher Olin Ray.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it
Well,
looks like it looks like it's like the female version of the Expendables or
Yeah.
something, or it's trying to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I brought it
Yeah.
up. I don't know you guys well enough yet, probably to explain that I love terrible movies. I watch a lot of terrible movies, and I
That's
know
how
the-
me
the
and
pod-
Sean got to talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the podcast is good movies podcast, but I am an aficionado of terrible movies. But I do love great movies. Don't get me wrong, but I will sit through something like The Mercenaries or any
Yeah.
Asylum film or anything, and
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
the heck out of it while simultaneously realizing it's a piece of shit. So
Oh yeah, I'm a connoisseur of Mystery Science
Yeah.
Theater. I've got
There
just
you
about
go.
all all their stuff. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I don't seek them. I don't seek them out always, but
right,
I understand. They are fun to watch a bad movie.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
The-
There's some good bad ones.
Mhm.
Oh, I think I showed. I'll go grab it here in a second. I think it's behind me, but like Birdemic. Have you seen Birdemic?
I've
No.
heard about it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got that.
Well,
you got
I
that.
got that set.
yeah,
I bought the
that-
set.
Yeah, that 3-pack or 3-movie set or something.
There's 3 of
Well,
them.
I got introduced to it through Riff Tracks. Riff Tracks
Okay.
did the first one live, Birdemic 1, and like I highly recommend you downloading that off their
That's
site.
on
'Cause
Tubi, guys.
Birdemic, yeah. But the
Birdemic,
riff
Shock and
track-
Terror.
Yeah, the Riff Tracks is awesome. What's cool about Riff Tracks, most people think you got to do a sync up thing, but they actually sell completed movies on there. Like you
Oh,
can
okay.
buy movies with already the voiceover built onto them. And that's usually like public domain movies that they bought
Right.
licensing to. Mainstream stuff, stuff that's recent, you got to buy I usually never buy that. I just buy the public domain movies, and I usually don't, because I don't want to hear them riff like a good movie, because they do that
Right.
too, and
Well, I know they did one of my favorites, Cool as Ice.
oh yeah. Did you hear
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Did
We
you
went to
did
the movie. That's another one. We went to the movies. There was 3 of us that actually went, and we seen that. There was only 3 of us in the theater opening weekend to see that movie.
Yeah, I went to see that at a midnight show in Cleveland, probably about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
was
no kidding,
packed.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was packed, and they encourage people for those shows to like yell stuff out and riff on it. Oh, geez.
Wings of Disaster.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Birdemic trilogy.
Yeah, I'm turning it back and forth because it's got a lenticular cover. Because the birds on that cover look better than what the CG is in the movie.
Did Vinegar Syndrome put it out?
No, it's excuse me, it's Severin.
Severin.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay.
Well, actually, Severin says Intervision, so Severin distributes it, but it's like some company called Intervision made it. So it's like I don't know if you can see it or not. Right there, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
all region, so everyone can enjoy it. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I bought it because I've never seen, because Riff Tracks don't do Birdemic 2 or 3. Birdemic 2 has a little bit of nudity, but they cut stuff like that out usually on. But I haven't watched 3 yet because 2 was like, it was basically just a remake of the first, but even worse. Like it's so I mean, you got to watch them for bad movie. I mean, for a bad movie, you have to watch it.
Okay.
Like it's like the acting's atrocious. The fucking, and I think the guy's making him's trying to be serious. He wants to be. It's supposed to be like a remake of The Birds. It's supposed to be a
Mhm.
homage of The Birds. That's what
Yeah.
he's trying to do. And it's just fucking horrible.
Well, even the birds, I always thought the special effects was kind of cheesy.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, but it's at least
But-
he's using real birds. I
Yeah.
mean, these are like CG birds that literally look 2-dimensional on the screen. Like, I mean, and they're trying to fight them off with coat hangers, and it's literally just them standing there waving coat hangers, and they just CG'd the birds over top of them, and occasionally they'll hit one, and or they
got like a bird on a fishing pole, and they're like
no, it's not even. That would be better than what they did, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the second movie's the same. It's the same it's the same special effects, and yeah, there's like the one thing at the end of the movie, there's like a sequence where, well, in the second movie, like there's like it's like some kind of rain that comes down and causes these. The first one is just the birdemic. There's no reason for it. Everything's global warming in it. Like the guy's a big global warming, because the first movie came out just like right after the first Al Gore movie, the Inconvenient Truth. It was like after that. So they're talking about that. So the second movie goes into this, but it's like set up as like there's this basically like an acid rain or something comes down to it, falls on and it brings all these prehistoric eagles to life. Like all these people come out of the La Brea tar pits in LA, like all these, and like these two cavemen come out alive, and eventually, but at the end of the movie, like it basically calls like a zombie apocalypse type thing. Like the zombies come out of like the, forever Hollywood or, cemetery, so they're driving to it. And so all these zombies
I don't know.
come out. And
the first two movies are on Tubi, boys.
Yeah. And,
awesome.
That's definitely sounds like a good look at that. Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah,
pretty
but this is what's funny about it. I'm sorry, I'm a bad storyteller, but at the end, like there's a sequence where they're fighting these zombies, and they're driving. They're in an RV. They found an RV at some point, and they're driving around this. It's supposed to be somewhere downtown LA, and like they obviously just had the permit for like one or two streets, because they keep circling, because you keep seeing like the same shot in the background, the same buildings in the background. They just and they keep making it look like they are getting chased all through the city, but you still keep seeing the same buildings in the back. It's hilarious. Yeah,
that's funny.
I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I go back and watch like Plan 9 from Outer Space, and I'm like, there's some continuity to that movie. There's some things that are bad, but you go back and say, there's some decent there's some things about this that makes it look like he was a decent filmmaker, knew what he's doing to some degree. The acting's not horrible, and the editing's not bad, which that's probably done by somebody else, the editing, obviously.
Right.
But it's compared to movies that I've seen since then, that movie isn't even close to being the worst movie of all time.
No, not now.
No.
No.
Some of those, what is it, Wild Eye? You guys know them?
Oh, they're atrocious.
Those movies are completely unwatchable, and I know people love them. Some people are aficionados of Wild Eye releasing, and I know they give their stuff away for screeners, and a lot of people do like Wild Eye Wednesday on YouTube and stuff. I cannot sit through one of their movies. At least I haven't yet. I think I watched one from beginning to end, and I've never done it since. They're just so bad, and they don't. I mean, I said last time I was on, that you got to keep in mind that there's a lot of people working on these productions, and some people are doing the best they can, but these, it's like they absolutely go out of their way to make them as shitty as possible, so they can say they're bad. And when they do that, it's not fun. It's just, it's not. You can't watch it. It's unwatchable.
Yeah, I don't know how Ed Wood became so synonymous with bad movies, because I got a set of his films, and they're really not that bad, like you said. I mean, there's much worse filmmakers out there than. Yeah. But I don't know how he got pigeonholed, as the worst director, because they're just basically low budget movies. They're not horrible. Yeah.
No. Yeah, Glenn and Glenda and stuff like that. I mean, they're not horrible. What's the other one that came? I've got that same set. I can't remember all.
It's like a Bride of the Monster.
Yeah. That stuff isn't terrible.
No.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Getting on Sean's point, if you ever watch those Wild Eye movies by, there's two of them, the Polonia brothers, and Dustin Ferguson. These people are just like they make crappy movies.
Yeah.
And there's people like you see on there like with like Sean said about the Wild Eye Wednesdays and stuff like that. Those Ed Wood movies are good.
Oh yeah.
Compared to
Yeah, I just think they're just fun. They're like the old like creature feature kind of things that we used to watch.
Yeah, I guess you can make any kind of movie you want as long as you got somebody backing it a little bit, or you got some money, to put into it, and then you can make anything you want. I guess
Yeah.
As horrible as you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think with Ed Wood, I think some of the movies that he made, I know Plan 9 for one, he got money. I think it's in the movie Ed Wood that he got money from some church, and so he had to put the preacher's son in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was totally not qualified to be in a movie at all, and he had to make him a featured player, and so that's why he would get weird people in movies, or they would have to end with a nuclear bomb exploding.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a producer's requirement to fund some or all of the movie, and so he'd have to put that crap in it. So that wasn't even.
Wasn't one of the actors a chiropractor too? That he
the
had.
Guy that that stood in for Bela Lugosi after.
Yeah, I think he was going to make like a Western or something with Bela Lugosi, but he died or something. That was like the next project or something he was going to do with him.
That would be awesome.
It was going to be weird. Aliens and cowboys or something like that. I don't know.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I read a
he could have
on him, and
it could have been even though I guess the kind of the underground or the undercurrent of Hollywood being as weird as it is, but he may have got pigeonholed like that because he was like a cross dresser, and he may have been some kind of angle like that. People may have not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in Hollywood, nobody would care, but even in those days. But
I mean, did they know that then, or like
well, some people did, I'm sure. But
he got pigeonholed. Plus, some of the people that he would associate with were like porn people. So as his career sort of nosedived, he got into writing like Pulp Fiction porn, like paperbacks, and he was constantly looking for money. I guess his wife or girlfriend had written that he would pawn his typewriter that he wrote everything on, like almost every other month to get money, so he would be able to get food. He didn't have any money. He wasn't like rich. So he would take whatever job he could get, and he would write these terrible scripts for crappy X-rated movies and stuff. So, and they would just capitalize on the fact that, this is Ed Wood from Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, if he would have lived a little bit longer into the 80s with the boom of VHS and stuff, he would have got it all legal and stuff, I think he would have he would have been successful then, but there was
he would have been a Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah. I think there was one movie that set in a developer's lab for like 30 years or something. One of those. I don't know which one it is because he couldn't afford to get it out of the lab to pay the lab fees and stuff.
Wow.
So pretty interesting though. He's definitely had an interesting life,
Yeah.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman, man, those movies though, he was a good filmmaker though. I mean, they are what they are. They're not necessarily. I think those are movies you can say they're the elements that are bad in them are intentionally put in there. They're not like when you see it, that it's not just he don't know what the hell he's doing. He's intentionally doing that. That's the thing when I see with Lloyd Kaufman movies.
Yeah,
I am thinking about the right person, am I not?
Yeah, the trauma guy.
Trauma.
No. Yeah, Trauma. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about somebody. Yeah, I'm backwards. I'm thinking about Let me go over here and find one of his movies. He did the guns, girls, and G-string stuff like that. He did like the big explosions and had nudity. Andy Sedaris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Lloyd Kaufman too, but Andy Sedaris as well.
Those got a lot. Those movies got a lot of us guys in the '80s got through Lonely Nights on Friday and
Yeah.
Saturdays.
Yeah. Yeah.
C-
Yeah, if you had-
Cinemax staples.
Yeah. If you had Cinemax back then, they were always on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun to
Was that-
watch because they have like pretty good explosions and things and special effects. Practical special for the day.
Yeah. A lot
And
of action.
plenty of real special effects and the fakest titties.
Yep.
Yep, that's about
'Cause
it.
they-
But you know
all-
what,
they-
dude? You didn't care if they were fake or not. You were
I
just
don't care
like,
if they're
happy to
fake.
see them.
I don't
Yeah.
care if they're fake. I'm just saying he always had the biggest fake titties in the movies.
Yeah. Silicone City.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
Mine.
wasn't one of his movies.
Yeah, that would have been a good. Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
What were some? The Miami Connection, was that one of them?
I think that was somebody else, I
Malibu
think.
Express.
Malibu Express, I think, was him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
years.
movies were great.
I haven't thought about him in a long time. Oh, my
Neither have I.
God.
But it's like
Were
I
those on
remember watching
TV?
it at like 2:00 in the morning after Saturday Night Live would, go
Yep.
off. And then it'd be like, oh, I got to go off for Sunday school and church the next day.
Yeah. Malibu Express was one of his big ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got his whole filmography.
Holy cow, John, you weren't kidding.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
only
John-
watched a few of them. I've seen them, but I've got another set. But they released them a few years ago on Mill Creek. Released them. It's like.
Oh yeah, I remember that when they did that. They released.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny. His career
I remember
started.
that one.
Savage
Okay.
Beach, that's the one I was thinking of. Is that Donna Spear in that one?
You remember the cast too. All right.
No, I just remember the one
No.
girl, the
I
blonde
can't see
girl.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got Donna Spear in it. Mhm.
There you go.
Andy
I
Sedaris
had
with
that
a sword.
Playboy, and I just remember her being in there.
Enemy Gold.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't Pat Morita in one too?
Yeah.
The Picasso Trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he-
those were great movies.
Yeah, he had about a
I
good
know.
10-year run of movies.
Did he really, Mike?
Mhm.
Starting about 1980. I'm looking at his stuff here,
Oh, okay.
but for about 10
There's the Pat
years,
Morita one.
yeah, he had a whole bunch
Sure
of them.
does.
Wow.
This is another good one.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember that one.
The Dallas
Dallas
Connection.
Is Hard Ticket to Hawaii in there? Oh, cool. Oh, Malibu.
Malibu
Yeah, Malibu.
Express. Yep.
I don't know if I have that one. If that is one of them, I don't have that one.
Fit to Kill.
Is he still alive?
No, I don't
according-
think so.
It says that he died in 2007.
Yeah,
He was 76.
Wow. Day of the Warrior.
they're the Warrior. And Return to Savage Beach.
The much
Awesome
anticipated
collection
sequel.
right there, John.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
they're
that's-
quality movies.
right.
Yeah, John's got a great collection, man. He pulls out some cool stuff, especially TV show
Yeah.
collections. You know.
Yeah, you guys
That's
were talking
awesome.
about
That's
TV.
memories right there.
Yeah, yeah. You guys were talking about TV last week, and John was taking some of the stuff out, and he was talking about what he had, and I was like, "Geez, I own like maybe 6 shows on physical media."
Yeah, that's about how many I do.
Here was
I have.
another one. I missed one. Guns.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Goodness. You know, funny thing is, he directed the very first episode of Kojak.
Are you kidding me?
On TV, yeah.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did a little bit of TV stuff in the mid 70s, and that was one of them.
Wow.
I have that DVD set. It's called Guns, Girls, and G Strings or something like that.
Hmm.
That's why none of those are open because all of those are I think on one DVD set, but I couldn't not buy the Blu-rays when they came out.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Once they go out of print, man, those would be valuable, probably.
Yeah, this movie's pretty bad too. The one I just picked up this week.
Murder Size?
Yeah. Sorry, might get too much reflection here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even. I ordered it from the guys that made it. They've been advertising it for a while on Instagram and so I had to. They had like a Kickstarter or something like that. One of the or the Kickstarter page that I went to, and it wouldn't take my credit card for some reason. It would, so I contacted the guy. Said, "Hey, I'd like to get a copy of your movie, but Kickstarter won't take my money." So he's like, "Oh well, just send it PayPal." And he sent me a copy. So
That's cool.
it's a pretty bad movie, though. Yeah, it's not that good. No, it basically they shot it. It looks like the whole movie takes place in like this office, in this small office. They shot it a whole thing in. It's like they're shooting like a exercise video, but it looks like they shot it in the size of the room I'm in. The whole movie, and it's only the scenes take place in like other like rooms, but it's like tiny looking. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah.
It's not very good, and
It's
really
string budget.
It's got some titties in it, so that's good. But
Yeah, you
other
can't go
than
wrong
that-
with that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured when I bought it. I thought, well, it's going to be a few hot girls in it. That's mostly why I'm getting it. But it's not too good. It's basically the movie starts out where these two cops this girl's like talking on the phone, and like she has to call the police, and she's calling the police because she thinks somebody's outside her house, and like as soon as she literally calls while she's on the phone, somebody knocks on the door, and for some reason the cops are already there, so she opens the door and they kill her, obviously, because the cops they can teleport, obviously, so
Oh yeah.
and so it goes on, and it starts. They're like filming. There's like a film crew filming, like they're filming like a exercise video. It takes place in the 80s, obviously, and like one of the girls ends up being like the murderer. She for some reason goes on like she wants to be the lead girl in the video, so she ends up going on a killing spree, and then those guys show up and they kill, but she ends up being the hero. So it's pretty stupid, and that's about as good as the description I can give you. Is just a few good-looking women, but other than that, it's just people standing around talking. And
is there any workout scenes or anything?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, but like I was saying, it was shot. It looked like a room couldn't have been like 10 by 6 room or something. I swear it looks like they're shooting like 6 feet away from on the camera. Like they literally put the camera in the doorway and they were shooting into like a room where they were doing it. It's funny.
Now,
Like
did they change the room around to like move furniture and stuff, or is it the same room for every scene?
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it was basically the same room. Like, and one of the girls was like an actress. She's supposed to have been in like the girl that's originally the lead actress. She's the girl with obviously the big tits girl. And she's like the lead actress she's like a lead actress, and but she was she's in a horror movie, and so for some reason she brought her movie with her in there, so they watch a scene from this movie, and like the movie within the movie is horrible, and it's just not even. I don't really understand why you bother making. You could have shot something better on your cell phone, and it didn't like look bad, but it just didn't have nothing going on. I mean, you could have shot some exterior. There's one exterior shot of the one of the girls. She's like the daughter of the the person financing the movie, and you see her kind of coming to the building where they're at in her car. That's like the only. I think that's basically the only exterior shot. Yeah, it
Okay.
was not
Maybe-
worth the money. Was not worth the money.
Maybe the director like read a book about how to make a movie or something. You know, it's like how to
Yeah.
make a movie. I'm going to.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
How to raise money, produce, and film a movie.
Well, see, that's what I was saying. You got some money, you can make anything. You know.
Yep.
Even get people to pay for it. You know, with the whole.
Yeah.
You know, what do you call it? The
Yeah, the Kickstarter.
Kickstarter stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Indiegogo is what they were on, not Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I couldn't
that's
think about it a
good.
minute ago, but
Yeah, you just give
Kickstarter's one, but
somebody a produ-
Indiegogo.
Mm.
Yeah.
Give somebody a producer's credit, and they'll give you money for anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's some, I think, like the last season of Mystery Science Theater was crowdfunded. They did all that crowdfunding. And they got big, donators. A lot of the people are our age, and a lot of the guys, some of them people have money to do it.
Mhm.
They give them big money, so they donate so much money, and they get to come to the set and all that stuff like that. And
Mhm.
they have like a big banquet at the end of the year. It's kind of cool though, because this past season I thought was pretty good. Like the first ones with the first one that came back on Netflix, I think season 11, is that correct, or 12?
I couldn't
11
tell
or
you. I know which
12
one you're
season.
talking about.
I only watched the one with the gauntlet, where they had the gauntlet.
Yeah, that was part of the first year back, but
Oh, okay.
that was technically the second season back. That wasn't bad. The first one was all right. I thought the first season was too rapid fire, but this newest season, it seems like they slowed back down on their joke telling, and it's not as they kind of spaced out their jokes better,
Mhm.
and it felt like their old thing. And also, what was cool is they got the crew with I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. The new guy,
Jonah.
Jonah. Yeah, Jonah. With Jonah, they have his crew, and then they brought on a girl, and they basically set up it's called the Simulator of Love, and it's like a simulator theater. It's supposed to be a simulator. It's just the same setup, but they brought her on, and she's like really good. She's like a puppeteer in real life. So, but she's like got good time. She's funny,
Mhm.
and they got it, but it's the same. They got a guy playing Tom Servo, but they have a girl playing Crow, and the girl is really fucking funny. Like she's like got really good comic timing. Most people are like, oh, that sucked. I don't want to gender swap, blah blah. Whatever. It's funny. They're a good team. Those three. So they got Jonah and that crew, and then not Mike, but Joel comes back and does one episode.
Oh,
And
cool.
he does it with Jonah's crew, his bots, but he gets it's pretty good. He does an episode, so they it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really worth watching, but you got to watch it on mysterysciencetheater.com. You have to pay
Mhm.
for the seasons,
Yeah.
which
It was cool back in the day when they would do the Turkey Day thing when it was on Comedy
Mhm.
Central. That was when I
Yeah.
was a teenager. It was all day. That was so much fun.
yeah, they still run that on mysterysciencetheater.com
Yeah,
for
on
free.
the YouTube.
And also you can see all the old episodes of Mystery Science Theater for free. And also it also runs on Shout Factory. The
Mhm.
Shout
Oh, yeah.
Factory channel on Roku.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
might be online as well, but they constantly run it. It runs constantly. It's like episode after episode,
Mm,
and it always runs. But the new stuff you got to pay for.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Pluto TV has the Mystery Science
Yep.
Theater channel. So,
Yeah.
because they have the
Yeah.
Asylum channel. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I didn't really get to experience until later on because the town I was in didn't have Comedy Central growing up, so I didn't get to see really the early stuff. So I kind of watched it and then watched it through DVD and downloading episodes and things like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
our town didn't get Comedy Central until like '96, and
Yeah.
then one of the guys that I worked at Movies Unlimited, um, he started like he lived in another part of Jersey that I did, and that's when like Comcast didn't own everything, back
Mhm.
then. I had Garden State Cable, and he had Jones Intercable, and they got Comedy Central, so he would like tape them, and that's like when I heard about like the tape traders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
he would tape them, he'd bring them in for me, and I'd tape them at home,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I just give them back to him the next day. But it was just like that. That show was like so funny,
Yeah.
so funny.
That's funny because we didn't get Comedy Central either. My grandpa did. So when we went to Thanksgiving, like Turkey Day, and
Hmm.
I would like gank the TV away from, they're like, here, we're going to watch this. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
No football, Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. It's kind of watch that for a little while and then football. And then,
Yeah, well, usually because being in Philly, you hated Dallas, so it was
Mhm.
like that was like always a joke. If the Cowboys lose, the turkey goes down better.
yeah. Yeah. Couldn't escape the Cowboys in the 90s, man. It was just,
No.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite team. I like Cincinnati Reds, but I've never been a massive Bengals fan. So I don't watch a lot of sports anymore. But like,
mm,
I was really a teamless kind of person because we didn't have any local teams. Not pro teams.
yeah.
So
Well,
especially football.
where you guys are, it's big college, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kentucky and U of L and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm more of I guess basketball, especially college basketball. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching some college football. I haven't even watched UK play this year for some reason. I just haven't had any interest. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I watched the World Cup early in the year, the Women's World Cup. I watched that. And I like
Mhm.
watching that sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
and I like watching the Premier League when I get up and watch it and remember to watch it. I mean, I watch like disc golf because I play disc golf, so that's about it for me.
Yeah.
Some sports,
Yeah. Our state just doesn't have any pro teams, man. It's always we don't have hockey, we don't have football, we don't have basketball. We just got the college, man. The college stuff is.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys, Mike and John, do you guys get like NHL? Like, what's the nearest team near you guys?
Nashville Predators.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Or St. Louis, or
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think Cincinnati. They don't have a pro hockey team, do they? I don't think they have
Columbus
pro
does.
hockey.
Yeah.
Columbus does.
Mhm.
Does Columbus have a pro hockey team?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Cincinnati doesn't, but I don't know. I guess it's such a big baseball and football town that they.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cleveland doesn't either. We have a semi-pro team, but we don't have a professional hockey team.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the college ball in Kentucky has just eclipsed any pro teams coming in there, because it's so, I don't know, it's so strong in the state, so I don't know why we never had, we had like
we don't have big.
We had like semi-pro stuff back in the 70s and different stuff, but
yeah, we had Kentucky Colonels was a pro team back in the ABA days.
Colonels?
Yeah.
They were
man,
ABA.
That's hysterical.
Well, they started arena football briefly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Briefly.
We're getting the Soul back next year, so I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had
Yeah,
the
they
Cleveland
like
Gladiators here for a little
Lexington's
bit.
just Lexington's simply not a big enough market for a pro team. That's why Lexington doesn't have it. Louisville, they're probably the same way, but Louisville's a lot bigger, so I don't really know. They've got, but I mean, Lexington has a minor league baseball team. That's all we have is like farm league teams, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I don't even think Lexington. I don't think the Lexington Legends are even like Double A. They might be. I don't know if they are or not. Is that minor leagues Double A? That's
Yeah,
right,
it's
isn't
like
it?
triple A,
Farm.
double A,
Yeah.
then they have single A, and then they have rookie league.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're triple or double. I don't know what they are yet. I don't think they're because the farm team in Louisville, that's the farm team for the Reds, isn't it, Mike?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, but Lexington we had a minor league hockey team that played in Rupp Arena for a while, but they had the coolest name is the Thoroughbreds.
Oh yeah.
Everything's got to be named after horses or something like that around here.
Yeah.
It's
course.
like, yeah, but I thought that was a pretty clever name, and they eventually
Mhm.
lost it. I guess nobody was going to the games. I never even went and saw a game, and I lived in Lexington at the time. There was no reason I didn't go. I always wanted to. I just didn't do it.
Mhm.
Probably didn't have the money or something back in those days. Just
It's just weird because we got the Louisville Slugger. The
Yeah.
Louisville Slugger plate, the museum. We got the big stadium, Louisville Slugger Stadium, and all that stuff. But we just don't have that, team. You think maybe you would have a team or something, like a pro team. But I don't know. It's just, I guess it's the market. Because I always just grew up going to see the Reds, Cincinnati, and then Ohio's also got the Cleveland Browns and the Bengals, and right, the Browns,
Cleveland Indians, and
and the Indians,
The Guardians now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Guardians.
I thought they changed that, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Still
they'll always be the Indians to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I still call the Redskins the Washington Redskins the Redskins. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the
Did they-
stupid shit right there. Yeah.
Did they change the Atlanta Braves? Did that change, or they
Nope.
just changed the logo, the mascot?
I don't think they even did that
Yeah, I
because
don't
they
even
just
think
had
they
the
changed
stupid A on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
All this,
Yeah.
I don't know why they're so offended, and it's actually not the Indians that are offended. Like they've interviewed Indians, like, no, we don't care.
Yeah.
It's the fucking white liberals that are fucking. They're the ones that are offended by somebody else. It's like they're the ones that are always offended by everything.
I don't know. I don't know. I grew up with that stuff. Those teams, and I never thought twice about it.
Yeah,
It's,
you just sort of went, all right,
Whatever.
whatever.
I mean, even if they had like the Louisville Honkies or something, I wouldn't be offended. Or something like that. I don't know. Something offensive.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I was just like Cowboy. I remember like when the Redskins and the stinking Cowboys would play on, like sometimes on Thanksgiving. It was like, oh, the Cowboys and Indians, and you watch the westerns that were Cowboys and Indians. You know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'd go outside and
Do you
play.
remember
Yeah,
Basketball?
exactly.
The movie Basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That remember it was like the San Francisco Ferries. Remember, and all the names were funny in that too. And I can't remember all of them, but they were like the Bears, wherever their team was from. It was like the Bears or whatever.
Was
Something
it
like
the
that.
Milwaukee Bears?
The Milwaukee Bears.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever their home team was. And
Yeah, I haven't seen that in forever. I need to.
Yeah, I haven't either.
that scene where I don't know if people don't really laugh at it so much, but I think it's hilarious where like Jenny McCarthy, they're sitting in the stands and that's when she's with the older guy. I can't remember that actor's name, but she comes back and hands him the truck hitch, and it's like, and her lips are silver. He's like, I'm finished with this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Those little things like that I laugh at, and some people don't get it.
It might go over A lot of people. So newer people, like younger people. Man.
Well, but yeah, there's that joke in there's a joke in Caddyshack that nobody gets either. That I always laugh at. That it's one of Rodney Dangerfield when they're out there on the. It's like at the very beginning of the movie when he's like kind of he's kind of grandstanding, talking kind of his trash to people about. He's kind of talking about his development or what he's doing. He said he's like arcologies. Me and Wayne just bought on this side of he's like talking about arcologies and how they built on the side of the Great Wall of China or something. And it's fucking, nobody gets it, but it's like there's a lot of people have been buried when they were building the Great Wall of China, and all these people were buried in it because they died making it. So they buried on it. I'm sorry, I'm not repeating it verbatim. I can't remember, but he says but he makes a joke like that. And I don't think anybody gets it, but it's like, it's just one of those history jokes. If you don't understand some of that history, you don't. Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah,
I always laugh at the stupidest thing. It was like when he was like, "Wang, what's with all the pictures?" I don't know what that means, but I just laugh at it the way his delivery is.
Yeah. Oh, he's great in that movie. I love that movie.
I always loved Easy Money.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah.
And you know what, Mike? It's funny because I grew up in a row home in Philly. Okay, so when they're having the wedding. And you see the backyards, and everybody's in that like little backyard. That's how our backyards are in Philly.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they're doing that, I always roar laughing at that. And when he's just driving around looking, he goes, Joe Pesci goes, "I'm hungry." He goes, "Hey, I could eat too." So they go, and every restaurant open 23 hours. And it still makes me laugh.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in forever either.
He has a joke he's a funny joke that it's another one of those jokes people don't get, and like all of his stand-ups like one-liners basically, but they're hilarious stuff. And he's talking about his dad. It's like my dad worked at a bank, but he's talking about his dad working at let me think how it goes. Oh, my dad's so stupid. He worked at a bank, but he got fired for stealing pens.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I need to find some. I don't even think I have Caddyshack on
really?
Anything. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't have it either, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
that needs to be 4K because I've got the Blu-ray, but it'd be a good 4K. Hopefully they do that.
Yeah.
That's a good era of film to transfer to 4K. You get a good transfer. Yeah.
Yeah, Easy Money. I don't know. It's hard to find. I had like an old like laser disc of it. I think I still have it, but I don't have a decent.
I think I definitely have the DVD, but that Easy Money, I'm pretty sure there's a weird Shout Factory 2-pack that I just totally missed somehow. I don't know how I missed it, but there's one of Easy Money and Men at Work together. It's a weird combination, but I just completely missed it. Like one day I was looking, I was like, I wonder if Men at Work is on Blu-ray. So I looked it up and there was like this 2-pack, but it's out of print. They're wanting like $100 for it now. And I'm like, when did I miss this? Now. Because there was, there was like years where it didn't, where I kept up with that stuff like weekly, and I still do, but I kept up with DVD releases and I never remembered it. It's weird.
Yeah. I just don't see it that often, like looking for stuff, and I just don't ever. So somebody needs to put it out. Like I think Arrow would do good because they put out those John Hughes movies, like Weird Science and 16 Candles and stuff. I mean, that might be cool. Good little set.
I like Arrow because they take so much care with their stuff, and they put they throw like a ton of like documentaries and stuff on there.
Yeah.
I really like their their stuff.
Yeah, they got. I love the extras and stuff like that. Let's see, money.
I just got an update. J.J. Abrams is going to reboot Krull.
Oh,
What
Really?
movie?
Krull the
Krull.
Conqueror.
Crow.
Yeah, not Krull, Krull. That
Oh, is that the
that was that
Conqueror?
one with the. He had that sort of like weird sword or bladed frisbee
Yeah,
thing that he threw.
yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I loved that movie as a kid.
I have never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, it's on my list. I have never seen it.
I seen that in the I seen that in the movies.
Hmm.
That's when like they were making like all those like sort of like Indiana Jones kind of or Conan
Yeah,
the
it was like a
Barbarian kind of
Mhm.
thing.
It was sort of
Yeah.
like that time where they tried to combine like Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and
Yeah,
they try to come up with all sorts of weird formulas trying to make something fantasy work in that environment. Some of them
Yeah.
hit, some of it didn't. Conan was out around that time, so that was sort of like they put it all in a blender. And
Yor. Do you remember YOR?
Yep.
Yor.
The Hunter for the Future.
Yes.
From the future, yeah.
Mhm.
That's another one that's was really good, and it just kind of went away.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there
I
was,
saw that.
Oh.
That was an HBO staple for
I-
a while.
I got
Yeah.
it, Kenny.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a Twilight Time release,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, so I just want to. I probably won't watch the whole movie again, but I just want to see if it looks any better in widescreen instead of full frame like it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because on when it was on Tubi, it's on Tubi right now, and it's
Yeah.
full screen
Yeah, it's not the.
because they do the pan scan
Oh,
of
jeez.
kind of thing on it.
Oh, I went to. I was doing some. I was out and about today, so I went to a Dollar Tree to look for some Hot Wheels, and they actually had some Blu-rays there, so I picked up 4. I can't believe it.
Cool.
I got the distorted Christina Ricci and John Cusack.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I've
okay.
seen that.
That looks cool. And I don't know that this one's any good. It's called Little Kingdom. I don't know. It's probably a bad movie, but I don't know anything about it.
Hmm.
It looks like a World War II movie from the back or something like that.
Mhm.
It's probably crappy, but
Hmm.
there's a buck. And I got Pistolera, which is trying to see
That, my
here.
friend,
It's
stinks.
got
Yeah.
Danny Trio, huh?
That stinks, and he's
That-
only in it. I'm not kidding you, for 5 minutes,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
and that
It's about-
really annoyed me. You know.
It's about how long John Cusack is in Distorted.
Oh, is
he's
that
in-
right?
Yeah, I think he
Wow.
just like walked onto the set and they handed him a script. He read it on camera and then left.
Hmm.
He's in like 3 scenes. It's
Yeah.
not a good movie.
Which one?
Distorted.
Just
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one looks stupid too. But they're a buck a piece, you know.
Yeah, when I
No,
was down
nothing
in,
interesting.
When I was down in North Carolina last week, I stopped at a Dollar Tree that I usually hit up when I'm down there, and they had some movies I hadn't seen, and I picked up one Blu-ray called "Angel of Mine" with Noomi Rapace and Yvonne Strahovski, I think her name is, from *Handmaid's Tale*. And Noomi Rapace, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was the original Swedish girl with the dragon tattoo. She did the
okay.
original trilogy, and
Yeah.
I watched that last Sunday, and that was pretty good. Actually, turned out to be a pretty decent movie. I was pretty surprised. It's a remake of a French movie called *Mark of an Angel* that I think came out in 2007, I think 2007. But it was actually really good. When you guys were thinking about picking movies, I was going to say try and look that up. It's on Max.
Okay, and what's it called again, Sean?
*Angel of Mine*.
Yeah, I'll write it down for sure.
Got it.
Sounds pretty good.
Let me see here.
I checked this. I watched this this past week. This was actually it's actually pretty good. It's called The Big Picture.
Oh yeah.
I seen that
This
a
is
long
a
time
this is a Christopher Guest movie.
ago. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's like one of his first movies. Another movie about movie making, sort of. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's like he's kind of at the very beginning of the movie. He's like graduating for film school, and he got nominated and wins this award. And so these filmmakers are kind of interested in making a movie with him. So he's going through the process, and he's kind of getting, he's kind of slowly getting like bigger and bigger, like bigger head. He's kind of he like ends up breaking up with his girlfriend and all this stuff because he's this other girl's kind of in the mix, and so it ends up all crashing down on him, and so he loses his pitcher deal, and he ends up having the wait table, so he ends up kind of running into another film student, film school student that this other girl he went to school with, and she introduces him to this band, and he makes a video for them. He they're and he ends up getting recognized for his movie video. So all these same people that all this buzz starts happening about him again, and so that's kind of how the movie. And sorry, that's a little short synopsis of it, but it's actually was it was actually I felt it was a little slow at first, and then the movie kind of kept building, and it was like I felt like it's a really good movie. It's not your typical Christopher Guest humor. There is humor in it, but it's not his typical lineup of people. And Michael McKean's in it, but
Oh,
he
okay.
plays kind of a more minor role. But I thought it was a really good movie. Feels
Yeah,
very 80s though. I think
I was
that's
gonna
when
say
it
when
came
you
out.
showed that, the first thing I thought of was Kevin Bacon. I saw a movie with Kevin Bacon with that similar title, and it's obviously the same movie. I
Yeah.
just remember it being good. I don't remember much about it, but I
Mhm.
remember watching it back in the '80s, and I liked it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I saw it last. I think it was on HBO or something back then.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely one to check out again because it's interesting. It's Christopher Guest's first movie,
Mm.
and I guess I don't know if it's his first movie, but it's one of his early movies.
Right.
Mhm.
That's how I found it. We were talking about Christopher Guest, so I looked him up while we were talking about him to look up all of his movies, and I seen that, and I was like, Kevin Bacon, that sounds interesting. So I bought it, and it was worth buying. It's fun.
Hmm.
Saw Gorgo. How about this?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Gorgo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that 4K
Oh wow.
of that.
Okay.
It's pretty
Yeah, I
good.
saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty
Oh,
good. I'd seen it
realized I have
before a
the
long
big
time
picture.
ago, but
I was gonna say I just realized I have the big picture. I have this set that I got from Hamilton Book probably a year or so ago, and it's called the 6 Degrees Collection, and it's all these Kevin Bacon movies.
oh, okay.
And I bought it for Flatliners and Hollow Man, but the big picture is actually on it. So I'll
Oh,
have to give
I
it a
got that
watch.
set too, Sean.
Do you?
Is
I
it,
bought it. Yeah, I bought it for Hollow Man because I'm a big Elizabeth Shue guy.
Yeah, yeah,
is it a Blu-ray or a DVD
yeah,
set?
Blu-ray.
yeah. It's a Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember who put it out. I think it was
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek. Yeah,
Yeah. Hollow Man was directed by Guillermo del Toro, wasn't it?
Wow, I didn't know that.
no, Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I did a
Yeah, that's pretty
video about him one day, and that was one of the movies I put on there that I have. I got it mixed up with I think Mimic or something. What one of those movies the Toro
Yeah.
made.
Yeah. I think Verhoeven. I think I was actually surprised that Verhoeven did that movie because when I watched it, it didn't seem like a Verhoeven film to me.
No.
It was a lot more conventional.
Yeah, yeah. Had some pretty decent effects in it and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a cool movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've seen
You were
that
talking-
back in the day,
Oh,
but
go
I
ahead.
don't own a copy of it.
Which one?
Hollow Man, I've seen it, but I
Oh,
haven't.
okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can get it for $19, but yeah, Blu-ray seems a little expensive for one. It's a director's cut of it though, so
Hmm. I think I may have just the DVD of it. I believe.
Yeah.
Let me check.
yeah, that's a pretty good set. I like to have got that one. I didn't catch that one on there. I'm
Yeah, I don't
kind of
remember
on
how
and
much
off
that
with.
was. I don't think it was too expensive. I think it was like $6.95 or something like that.
Yeah, I think
Really?
that's yeah.
No, I got the Blu-ray of it. I think I found it on eBay. Like, a used copy. It was pretty
Oh, yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'll look on Amazon and forget. I need to go to eBay and look and see how much it is. See
Yeah.
how much that is, but
Usually one of the two you'll find a deal.
There's a couple sellers on eBay that I go to all the time, John. That
Yeah.
D from the Movie Bay told me about. What's the second sale?
well,
And
the thing
go
was
peachy.
is yeah, the thing is I found that 6 Degrees on there for $9.99.
That's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Might just pick that up because I doubt it's on the other one anymore. I'm gonna pick that up because even though I'll have 2 copies of the big picture, so that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Arrow did that. Didn't they do Flatliners? They released like
Yeah.
4K or
Yeah.
something of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. He wasn't in Wild Things, was it? It was Matt Dillon and Kevin
Yeah, I don't
Bacon
think so.
wasn't in that. No. Somebody
think
else.
so.
Wild Things?
Hmm.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah, all of him was in it.
Yeah, all of him was in that movie.
Oh, Lord.
I saw that.
That's
in the
one
theater.
movie that I rented the hell out of when that came out, and I don't own a copy of that. Wild Things.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I really enjoyed it. I never bought it.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen like all the people like buying like
Oh yeah, it is.
Like-
Yeah.
tons of copies of it. You know what I mean? Like different
Why?
versions of it. And
Oh, okay.
I think Arrow came out with like a special like a steel book of it, and you know how these people are with steel books.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 4K Blu-ray Arrow
Yeah.
put out. I think it's last year now. I think it's been about a year.
Heck, I'd be happy with a DVD copy of it just to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill
would
Murray.
not.
Got Bill
Yeah,
Murray's
Bill
in
Murray's
that
in
movie
it.
too.
Yep.
Yeah. God, I hadn't seen that movie. I probably last time I saw it was in a theater. To be perfectly honest with you, back in
Yeah,
the '90s.
same here.
Yeah.
What was the one with Drew Barrymore where she played like a real
Poison
tramp?
Ivy.
Yes.
Poison Ivy.
Rented the hell
Oh,
out of
yeah.
that one too. I don't own a copy of that. It's like it's funny, like all the ones that you had rented like so many times, you don't even own a copy of. There was one with I was like a really big proponent of Julie Strain back in the late
Oh,
80s,
yeah.
early 90s. I think I'm not kidding you guys. I read every movie that she was in, like that I could get a hold of it, like West Coast Video or something like that. And I don't own any of her movies at all. It was just, it's all in here. It's
I
just
remember
like,
her name and I remember vaguely what she looks like, but I don't remember.
she was
anything
like
she was in.
6 foot brunette,
Yeah.
stunning, absolutely stunning.
What was her name again?
Julie Strain. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Hmm.
Wasn't she just basically in like horror movies?
Yeah, she was like in those like Shannon Tweed, like erotic thriller kind
Oh,
of.
that's right.
You know, there was one with Julie Strain that I rented the hell out of that was that had Andrew Stevens in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like he was in a lot of those.
Yeah, and it was just like it was so bad, but it was like, I was like 16, 17, and just like renting all this stuff, and it was just like, I think at one point
This year.
I rented like there she is, man. Let me tell you, John, she was so smoking hot in the late '80s.
Yeah, I remember.
Beautiful-
I think I
beautiful
remember.
woman.
Yeah.
She was in that Fit to Kill that you showed earlier, that Andy Sedaris movie.
There
She's
you
in
go.
that.
See,
It all
I
comes
didn't
around
know
to Andy
that.
Yeah.
Sedaris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful girl. Yeah, there you
There you
go.
go.
Yep.
I've
Dallas
probably
Connection, too.
I've probably
Yeah.
seen her in something. I can't place her though.
Yeah.
Funny
Dallas
enough.
Connection.
If you watched all those movies, Mike, you've probably seen her before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I remember Legal Seduction. I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember
sometimes
that
those
movie
mo-
in particular.
She was in Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult, too.
oh wow.
Yeah, some of those movies, they'd come on at 2:00 in the morning and be like, I see her, but I don't know what her name is.
Right. She was in
That was
Double
like I
Impact
used
with
to
Van
when we
Damme.
used to watch them like late at night. I used to get my Malton guide and like look up the movie and see
Oh,
if I
yeah.
could find the person in it. This was
Oh, yeah.
before. This was way before
Internet.
phones that you have your
Yeah.
IMDb.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I always got that too. Leonard Maltin's. I still have a few of them actually.
Oh, do you? When I moved, I just trashed them. Because I
It-
had them like they were. I should have probably kept them, but I had so much crap to move, and it was just like I had them like all marked with like
Mhm.
like how my friend Neil has like his movie channel where he has like everything like the time, the movies that he's watched and the dates and stuff. That's what I used to do with my Leonard Maltin. I used to highlight it and then put the date next to it when I watch it.
Letterboxd, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what I got Letterboxd now, but it's just like
Yeah.
a lot of those like early '80 movies that you can't
Yep.
find anymore or something.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I used to get the Video Hound book. I can't remember the full title of it, but it was something like the Leonard Maltin one, but it was organized
Yeah.
the same way with reviews and stuff in it.
Yeah.
It came out in the VHS days. I used to get it. That came out every year, and I used to
Yeah.
buy those.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Bible of movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Home movie watching. Indispensable.
Yeah,
Dark
speaking of
times.
Naked Gun, it comes out on 4K here soon.
Oh,
The
really?
first one. Yeah. I wish
That's
they'd
awesome.
put it out. The worst thing about 4K is we're getting very few sets of movies together,
Mhm.
and we're getting a lot of individual stuff. Of course, they're making more money doing that, but some of the stuff I'd rather have a set of, like that all those Child's Play movies that came out.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I was telling somebody else that I didn't. I was like, I'm not going to buy these because I'd prefer. I bought the first one, the first Child's Play movie on 4K, but I don't want to buy the rest, even though I like the other movies. I don't. I'd rather have it because I have the Blu-rays in one box set, and I like that. I
Mhm.
like having them in one set. It's just-
Mhm.
Well, eventually, if you hold out long enough, they probably will release a whole set of them.
I
Yeah.
hope so. Yeah.
It seems like they've been kind of doing that with like the Halloween movies and stuff.
Since
I
she
think
was
they
in
did that
Beverly
with,
Hills Cop 3 as well.
Yeah. The Annihilator Girl or something.
Yeah, it's
saw
probably just
that.
a little bit part. That's how that dominatrix role I think was in Naked Gun.
Yeah.
I think it was just like one little scene. I can't remember. I have to go back. As many times as I've watched all three of those movies, I love those movies.
Oh yeah. It was one of my best movie experiences was going to see the first one with my friends at a theater. We had no idea what we were walking into.
Mhm.
And my mouth hurt from laughing and smiling after we walked out of.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
yeah. I love the
And then-
Zucker brothers. They
Yeah.
just
Fletch Lives. We went to that and cracked up through the whole thing.
mhm.
Everywhere I look, something reminds me of her. They drive by that nuclear power plant. It looks like two tits. Well, as a kid, fart jokes always tore
Oh,
me
yeah.
up. I think we were watching one of the first times we may been watching it at a friend's house on VHS, and that scene where he's in the bathroom or he's in the press conference and
Oh, and he leaves his mic
I
on.
could hear him pissing, and then he
Yeah.
goes, "Whoops, and then farts, and we just laughed at that so much. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Those were the days.
but of course, you got Kentucky Fried Movie's pretty good too. It's funny.
Mhm.
Airplane
Mhm.
1 and 2,
Yeah.
especially the first Airplane.
And then
Yeah.
top secret never
Yeah,
gets.
Top Secret. Yes,
Top Secret.
Yeah,
Um,
top secret's pretty good.
I haven't seen that since it came out on video. Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Yeah, it came out on Blu-ray a couple of years ago. I have it on Laserdisc as well,
Mhm.
and yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, then they did those Hot Shot movies too.
Yeah,
didn't they?
that's what I
Yeah.
was trying to think of. Yeah.
Hot
Hot
Shots.
Shots. Yeah.
Part
Two.
Two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
two.
Those are probably the last movies that they did that were really funny. I can't think. They did the Dracula Dead and Loving It. It was all right. It wasn't the best.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a
Movie.
Mel Brooks movie.
That's
Yeah, I
is
thought
that
that's
Mel
Mel-
Brooks or I thought
That's
that was
Mel
Zucker.
Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
Mel
did not
Brooks?
know that. I thought it was the Zuckers that did that. It was Mel
Yeah.
Brooks.
Mel
Yeah.
Brooks.
What didn't they do something else with Leslie Nielsen after that?
There was one movie he was in. It's
Yeah.
not one of their movies, but it's kind of an exorcist send up. Was it called Repossessed or something?
Repossessed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That just came out, reissued recently. I don't remember if it was 4K or on Blu-ray, but it's either coming out or just came out.
I thought it was
See-
pretty funny back then, but I don't know now.
They spawned
Blair.
all those '90s clones of their movies, and some of them were good, and then they kind of systematically got worse and worse. And
Did they-
I
Did they do the original Scary Movie?
don't
was
think
that them?
so. No.
That was
That's a good question.
that was Keenan Ivory Wayans. I
Oh,
think.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he did the first
The-
one.
The stuff they did was pretty funny because you kind of had the in living color kind of humor in there, and it was those were kind of funny.
Yeah.
But there were some other ones that came out after that were horrible. They were just
Oh yeah, like epic movie and
Yeah,
superhero
that stuff.
movie. And, yeah.
Not another teen movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I can't speak for Blank Man. Blank Man's one of those that are kind of a bad movie too. That was. Do you guys remember that one? That was.
I remember.
think it,
I haven't seen that in
I
think
probably
that was
30
Damon.
years.
I don't know if
Damon
Keenan Ivory Wayans produced that movie. It was Damon Wayans was the lead character, but I don't think
Mhm.
I don't know if it was Keenan Ivory Wayans or not. So
Yeah. Well, he did that character on in Living Color. I think it was
Yeah.
Handyman.
Handyman.
Handyman,
But
yeah.
but I don't think they could do a whole movie like that. I think it'd been offensive or something. I don't know if they could get away with the whole movie. So I think they changed it around to like it was a different kind of superhero or something. But
Well, there
Yeah,
was another one he did where the head detective, where it was just the head, and they're like
Yeah, I
throwing
remember
him
that.
around, and he's like, "Give me that, give me some head or something like that." It was like the tagline. So stupid. The head detective.
yeah,
I'd like to have all those seasons. I think I have maybe 2 of them DVDs, but that's it. I think I know I have 1 or 2 seasons, but I like to
I
have
had
all
the
those.
first 4, and I loaned them to my friend, and I never got them back.
Oh, I don't know if you can still get them cheap or not, but
I doubt it.
you might be able to eBay.
Yeah.
Possibly.
God,
How
that
many
show had
seasons of
some
that
good.
were there?
Whoever knew Jim Carrey, like when I remember we used to, watching him on there, how funny he was. Never thinking that he would do like he did just some little stupid movie and his career exploded.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, technically, he did Earth Girls Are Easy was his first movie, but
No,
I mean
Once
the first
Bitten was.
solo.
Yeah.
Once Bitten, yeah.
Mhm.
He's in Earth Girls Are Easy as well, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where he met the Wayans brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, probably because Damon Wayans is one of the other aliens. Him and Damon Wayans are kind of like the sidekick characters. They don't have a lot of they're not real important. God, that movie! I just got that recently. I think it came out on 4K. It might incorrect? Did it come on a 4K?
I know it was on one
or
of the
Blu-ray.
Vestron.
No, I got it on Blu-ray,
Vestron
but
color.
it was
Mhm.
Blu-ray. But it looked good, and it's so 80s. It's awesome. There's some movies that look like the 80s and feel like the 80s, like it, you remember. Of course, I was a kid in the 80s. I wasn't a teenager or an adult, but there's things that kind of connect me with the 80s, and it's music, kind of pop culture, the kind of things you're exposed to.
Mhm.
I wasn't really exposed to reality in those days because I was 13 and turned 13 in 91.
Oh wow, you're a young
So,
pup.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
young.
yeah, I'm 40.
Yeah.
I'll be 45 in next month. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 47, so I'm not much older than you.
Yeah.
I'm 54.
I'm the grandpa. I'm 55.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me about the 80s, Grandpa.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, the 80s and 90s, man. There was, I guess, a good time to be young, I guess,
I'm glad there was no internet in the 80s. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it's just getting older. You're like, well, I don't know how it was, but I'm kind of, how it is now for kids to grow up. But I'm kind of glad that we got to experience life without that technology.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it just maybe, younger people be like, oh, these old people talking about not having the internet,
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
nice. I remember it being more peaceful times,
hmm
It just
Mhm.
felt more peaceful,
Simpler.
especially in the late 90s for me, whenever I was a teen, 18, 19, 20 years old, in
Mhm.
those years. I
Mhm.
remember, going to movies and just, I don't know, it just felt, that era was just felt more peaceful. There was something peaceful about it. It don't feel peaceful anymore,
I think it was slower time,
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to really enjoy stuff longer, I think. And now
Yeah.
everything's so fast paced
Yeah.
because we get bombarded with all the information, and just
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to slowly learn things, I guess, gradually pick up on stuff,
You got to anticipate stuff too. You
Yeah.
knew, like, I don't know, say Return of the Jedi was coming out, and you'd wait
Mhm.
and you'd wait and you'd wait, and then opening day, and then you find out it's not opening in your theater because they didn't release it that many prints, So
Mhm.
you had
Yeah.
to wait 2 weeks till it came to your theater, and it was pretty easy
Mhm.
to avoid spoilers because there was no internet. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you didn't know anybody that had it. I spoiled Return of the Jedi by reading the comic book.
Oh wow.
I bought the comic book adaptation. It came out like 2 weeks before the movie came out. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if the store put it out early or what, but I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
The comic book.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend the other day, and back then where we had to like send stuff off in the mail and just kind of
Mhm.
wait for it. You don't know when
Yeah.
it's going to come because you don't have tracking or anything. So
Yeah.
Right.
so it's like, and it would come, you'd be like, you're excited,
Yeah.
Little,
You'd forget you ordered it because it would take, 4 to 6 weeks. It was the
Yeah.
standard thing. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for shipping.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
guys remember COD too? There's no such
Oh,
thing
yeah.
as far as
yeah.
collect on delivery. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we
See
had
those.
like a Sears distribution center. It wasn't a distribution center; it was just like a store. But it was
Mhm.
it was a catalog
Outlet
store. You got
store?
Yeah.
it was like a catalog store. You just like if you ordered something, it got shipped to there, and you picked it up there. I remember
Yep.
having that in my
Mhm.
town for some weird reason. Maybe a lot of small towns had them, but
Yeah, we had one.
But-
too. Yeah. I
yeah,
remember the mid 80s for sure. Yeah.
nobody would probably this era. These kids don't know what a Christmas catalog is.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
was the best time of year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The wish book would come in the mail, and then that was
Mhm.
essential reading material for the next 2 months until Christmas.
Yeah. One of my aunts had like all those catalogs, Sears, and all these different ones. And they would always have the toys in there and stuff. And you just kind of drool on it a little bit because it's
Yep.
I or you go and circle what you wanted, but you only
Yep.
get a couple of things, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
would.
Yep.
My mom would make me and my brother like out of like construction paper, like little booklets. So we would just get our like remember the Elmer's paste glue
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
or the rubber cement. So we would have like our like kid scissors, and we're cutting out everything, and then so we had to give it when we went to see Santa Claus. We give that to Santa Claus.
Okay,
Nice.
And then
that's cool.
Santa, of course, would I would always say, "Mom, why didn't you give him to Santa?" Oh, well, he already knew what you wanted,
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
thing, you know. So it was like I
Yeah.
remember the one year we did that, and it was like I found them like in her pocketbook, and she had just went to the store, and it was like, no,
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think all that illusion was broke for me when it was Easter one year, and I got a Big Wheel, Dukes of Hazzard Big Wheel,
oh,
and,
cool.
and my parents tried to tell me like the Easter Bunny put it together, and for a minute there I was thinking, so like a 6 foot tall rabbit put a Big Wheel together. I mean, I was probably 6, and that everything was shattered at that moment. I was like, yeah, it's all a lie.
But Christmas never made sense to me because we always had a fire in the fireplace. We burned wood. A lot of people
Oh
did back
yeah.
in the day. Especially in the country. The smaller
Mhm.
areas, you burn wood. And it never made sense to me. So I don't remember the exact moment when I was kind of knew it because I had some close friends. They probably told me. Like one of my friends, he had an older brother, 2 years older than me, which he's my friend too. He's probably my close. I'm closer to him now than the other one, but um, yeah, he probably the one that told me. So I don't really remember the moment. It may have just came to me eventually. It's like this don't make any sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And two, we never opened presents on Christmas morning. Like Santa always supposedly came it seemed like we went to a relative's house for it was like my great great grandmother, my mom's grandmother,
Mhm.
and we used to go to her house, or my great great grandmother, and yeah, that's right, my mom's grandmother, and we used to go to her house like Christmas Eve or something, and they had like a gigantic family Christmas, and we used to come home from that, and like the presents would be there because my other grandparents would bring them in like while we were
Mhm.
so we always had like a we didn't open on Christmas morning, so it never made much sense to me anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know why we did that for, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas morning was big in our house. That's when we opened. We didn't even get like how some people get like the pajamas on Christmas Eve. We
Yeah.
didn't we didn't get that Christmas morning, and then it would be like you'd have we'd get up, and my mom's big phrase was greet the morning with a shower. So so it was like you got two little kids fighting and going to get in the shower, and then we put like sweats or something on, and then she'd be like standing at the end of the hall with like the cube camera,
Oh yeah.
and she'd have to take a picture of us like meeting the tree, you know, that she spent all night putting up, you know,
Yeah.
and then it was like one side had a big K and the other side had a C, and then like we'd sit in there and she goes, "Now you guys know stockings first," and my brother would go, "Toothbrush, toothpaste, oh socks. Okay, let's get to the presents now."
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's everybody. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
make everybody open the big one last or something. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she would always hide like our big gift. Like one year we got like bikes, and she had them out in the garage with like a big bow on them. And she
Mhm.
goes, "Guys, can you go down and get milk?" And it's like, "Mom, we got a full gallon. Just go down and get the goddamn milk." You know. So she'd follow us down the steps, and big dummies that we were, and it's like there's big, two bikes on the with bows on them.
Mhm.
That's
So
pretty awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trip when you got your own kids and all this stuff. Like we did the whole Elf on the Shelf stuff, and it was
Oh, did you really?
it was
Oh,
so
that's
silly.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you appreciate it when you see them opening up their gifts? Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
go back to remember your mom doing it.
Yeah. It's funny how that is. You sit back and watch them, but as they get older, they know they're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the old sorry, there's like I live like literally right across the street from the fire company.
Oh, okay.
So, sometimes when you get up to go to the bathroom when you're old, the fire alarm goes off at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, oh, there's a fire somewhere here in Collingdale.
Yeah. At least you probably feel safe though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I'll be like yelling out like George Costanza, fire, and they're like literally right across the street.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, because I remember my neighbor. He goes to me. He sounds like Charlie Manuel, the old Phillies coach, and he's like, Kenny, you getting used to the neighborhood? I'm like, you mean the alarm across the street? Yeah, that's not bad. He goes, it don't ring that much. One night it rang like 5 times. I'm like, hell, there's a lot of fires here in Collingdale.
Jeez.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of false alarms. That's what they have. They have
That's
tons
true.
of false, but they have to respond to even false alarms. They have to respond to them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it doesn't bother me. And I mean,
Yeah.
there's like literally a school like about 100 yards from my house, and I mean, he even said, "Oh, the kids get rowdy, dude. You don't even hear them in the morning,
Yeah.
And they're like walking down the street and stuff. You don't hear them. They don't bother me. Just stuff don't bother me like that.
I live near an airport, so I get jets.
Oh, do
taken
you
off.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching the Blues Brothers the other night, and it's when Jake and Elwood go back to that his little apartment, and it's got the train.
Yes.
Going
Oh,
he's like, and that's exactly what he said. He was like, "Yeah, I don't really hear it that much," and then it went by, and it was shaking the whole house and stuff.
It's funny.
Hell.
It shook the whole house, Mike, but it didn't skip the record when he put the record on.
Yeah.
Was
Love
that
that.
did that take place in Chicago? Yeah, it's in Chicago.
Yeah,
isn't
Chicago.
Chicago.
It? That's the L.
Yeah.
Yeah, the L.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've believe it or not, living this close to Chicago, I've only been there like once in my whole life. I've only been
Yeah.
for my uncle bought a old car up there. We went up there and
Yeah.
it was. But it's
I
pretty
always
cool.
wanted to
All
try
the
the
trains
pizza.
going everywhere. What's
Yeah,
that?
I was gonna say my wife went up to Schaumburg, Illinois, this past week for like a business thing, and
Yeah.
it's not far from Chicago. I couldn't go with her, so I was like, oh man, but yeah, it was pretty close to Chicago though. But I've never been either, So
Yeah, we got
flew over it
we-
last Sunday.
I've been there on a plane a couple of times, but not
Yeah.
back actually to the city. I've wanted to go for years and take like they have like architecture cruises where they take you like on the river or
Mhm.
I guess through the rivers and they show you like Frank Lloyd Wright built buildings there and like Mies van der Rohe, famous architects built
Mhm.
buildings there and like they take you on like a architecture cruise and do that. That'd be really cool, but I've never got to do it. Go up there and do it. Yeah.
Mm.
There's a
Yeah.
famous Frank Lloyd Wright house up in Pennsylvania there, and probably it's like I think it's in Western Pennsylvania.
Is that
I
Falling
believe.
Waters?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Falling Water. He's got stuff all over the place. There's another one outside Chicago, out in the country, but that was what was his name? They were supposed to be making that was Mies van der Rohe. Yeah, that's Mies van der Rohe too. Built this house. It's outside Chicago. I'll bring up a picture. I'm talking about stuff that I can. But they supposed to made a movie about his life. He had like a crazy life, but I don't know if it ever came out or
Oh, about Frank Lloyd Wright.
Mies van der Rohe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. There's so much to see in Chicago. You'd have to go stay a few days just to kind of.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up a picture of the house so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's like outside. It's like in the country, out in outside Chicago, and I can't remember exactly the little town. Damn it! I hate fucking pop-ups. God, they're terrible.
I always wanted to go to Chicago to go to Wrigley Field, eat pizza, and eat one of those Chicago dogs that they talk about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've flown over it. I've driven through it, but I've never actually stopped there.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Not too far from us.
I said to my uncle when I was in Florida, I said to him, I said, "Where's the thing from Miami Vice? Remember in the beginning of the Miami Vice where they're like doing that in the arena, and they have like sort of like these cups with the ball? It's sort of like handball.
Oh, is that lacrosse?
It's sort of like that, but they have like this like we had it like in the mid '80s, Sean, where you had like to catch the ball with the
with
scoop
the
kind of
plastic
thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of threw the ball. Well, they have like competitions like that where they throw it against like a racquetball court. And I always remember seeing it like on Miami Vice and also in that movie with Gabe Kaplan too, where he goes. It was like I think Fast Break, the movie Fast Break, where he was the basketball coach. And I always went. My uncle goes, Kenny, we're in Central Florida. That's down in Miami. And I'm like, oh, you guys don't have
Highlight
here. Highlight, okay.
Yeah, that's what.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that house I was talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's the Farnsworth house. The Farnsworth was some kind of, I think it was a woman, and I think he may have had some kind of affair with her. But there's some, but she like commissioned this house, and it's small. I mean, you probably have more space in a trailer than this thing. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say
it's cool. They had to do restoration work on it because this area flooded or something at one time. I think it's close to a river. You can't see it, but I think there's a river kind of back behind there, and it runs through this area. But I have the Legos of its architecture of this. It's pretty cool.
that would be
I love it. Huh?
That'd be glass, wouldn't it?
Right here, yeah.
Enclosed,
this is glass.
in.
Yeah,
yeah. I was gonna
yeah.
say.
It's steel and glass. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's simple, but I like modern architecture like that. A lot of people say, "Oh, it looks like commie architecture." You know, it's square and boxy, but I kind of like that.
Did you guys ever watch the show Bosch? That was on the Amazon.
Mm-mm.
He had this house that was like in L.A., which was like literally on stilts, but it was a glass house that just like oversaw the canyons and stuff like that. The coolest because he had like a great layout. I'll send you guys a picture of it. It was just a full glass house, and it was just like when he would like they would show like him drinking like his whiskey at night. And he would just be like out there, and you just see the Hollywood, like all the lights out in Hollywood and stuff like that, just falling down. And I'm like, man, that's just a great house.
Was it round, like a round one?
I think, Mike. I think so. Yeah.
Whose house was it?
Harry Bosch from the show Bosch. And there was like one scene where he's just like sitting like on a leather recliner, and he's like looking out, and all you just see is the Hollywood lights. out there. It was just like a gorgeous kind of, because he put on his jazz, like he was like in the jazz and stuff like that, and he put on his jazz records and just you know, just
Is
sit and
this
drink
what
his
you're
whiskey.
talking about?
Yes, there you go.
That's
I
awesome.
would say this says is Bosch's house real? Where is it located?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
there
city.
you go. Ain't that
Yeah.
a pretty? That's a pretty site.
Yeah, I'm thinking about something else. It was like a 3-bedroom, but it was like
says. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it was built on a hilltop too, and it's pretty cool. Oh, it was the house that was in that
Yes.
movie Body Double. You remember Body
Yeah,
Double?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah.
house. I saw an article on it.
It's a real house. It says here. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and then that's a
Here's another picture of it right here. Let's see if there's a full picture of it. I don't see it. No.
That's
Shit.
a fantastic show too, guys. It's based on the books by Michael Conley.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, the guy Titus Welliver. You've probably seen him in like hundreds of shows. Like he was in Lost and stuff. But that's a great show, and it's just it literally because Michael Conley is one of the executive producers of it, and it follows truthfully with the books. Because I've read all of the Harry Bosch books,
Mhm.
and man, they are like true to the book. It's not like the Firm, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something crazy I seen on YouTube the other day. I had watched a something on the Brady Bunch, but I've seen all kinds of stuff on the Brady Bunch before. But I watched something the other day on just some kind of movie they had made, like a little short movie about it was one of those biographies, the one of those biographies they do, the unauthorized biographies they've
yeah.
done,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
but after that, like a documentary came up about. I didn't know they did this. I knew they were restoring the Brady Bunch house in Los Angeles, the house that was used for the pictures. Basically, it wasn't the real house, but the one they used for whatever they call it. It was just like the exterior shot of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually restored that house, and they restored it so it looks like the actual Brady Bunch house inside.
Oh wow!
The house originally looked nothing like it. It wasn't even a 2-story house, and they made it a 2-story house. They dug out the floor and made it a 2-story house, and made it like in the backyard looks the same. So
I saw
no telling.
I saw one of those Urban Explorer videos where they supposedly went to where the Brady Bunch house was, and they went inside it, and it hadn't been kept up or something. So I don't know if it was something they used or it was the actual one or what it was. But
yeah, it's a real property.
Yeah. Well, this Urban Explorer people, I don't know. They called it the Brady Bunch house. So I guess I don't know. I don't know if it was real or what, but.
No, yeah, people used to go take pictures and stuff in front of it. It just wasn't on the street was named differently. It was a different name of the street, and the house number was different. But it was a real house they used for exterior shots in the show. But it was built on set. That's why it didn't make sense architecturally. The way it looked on the inside matched the outside. So, but they made it. So now the actual house matches the set design and everything. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Nature called.
Yeah, I watched this week, which I seen it in the theater as well, but it's such a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
You think it might get nominated for an award this year? Or came out too early?
I don't know.
I don't know. Pickings are kind of slim so far, so it might.
Mm-hmm.
If they still keep the Best Picture nomination open to, what is it, 10 movies now?
Yeah, I think they opened this up.
That's going to
Yeah.
be hard to even get 10 this year.
Yeah, so I think it might garner a nomination.
I watched one
we
movie
could-
I got this week. I put it up on my site because I reviewed it. Plus, I have it on the. It's called Suburba. Suburra. It's an Italian movie. It's a gangster movie. Let me tell you, that movie totally blew me away. It's coming out on the Blu-ray on the 26th. I think it's next week. It comes out.
Like,
And that movie is so good. It was like it takes place in 2011, and it was like they talk about like the corruption between the politics in Rome, the Vatican, and just basically them trying to get through everything, with the Teamsters and stuff like that.
How do you spell that?
Suburra.
Oh,
There you go.
Suburra.
Yeah, it's from
get that to focus. I mean,
it's from 2015.
sorry. Yeah, I just put that on my watch list.
Yeah, it's really good.
Suburra.
Yeah, I watched your review of that. I forgot to write it down, but I just did.
It
looks-
totally blew me away. It really did. But it's unfortunate because it's like subtitled because it's all in Italian. So you got to like
Yeah, no
really
problem.
follow what they're saying, what's happening because there's so much shit going on. And apparently that guy, the director on that, he's the director from the sequel to Sicario.
Mhm.
Sicario.
Thank you, Sean. I didn't know how to, but apparently he's the director for that.
Yeah, Day of the Soldado. Stefano Saloma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny in Mercenaries. Some of like the ADR stuff when it like the overdubbing. It's just horrible. Like some of the actors they did the ADR didn't match like the actor or something. I don't know. It was weird. Couple
Mike,
of times.
you gotta throw that on like if you're like washing or something, just for how
shit.
bad it is,
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I didn't
definitely gonna
even
check it out.
And I didn't even recognize when Sean was saying Cynthia Rothrock was in it, and I just remember her gorgeous blonde. And now, man, age.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Which
didn't.
Which one was there? I didn't pay it. I was
She
I was
was the
doing some
one-
work on the computer while I was watching most of
She
it. I
was
didn't
the
pay
girl
attention.
that the head one that brought the four of the girls together,
Okay.
got them out of jail.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
was
I
like Cliche City.
Yeah, I didn't realize Vivica A. Fox is in it too,
Yep.
Oh yeah, she's
and
Oh.
her
Bridget
awful self.
I'll-
Nelson.
I watched a different movie.
Really?
I didn't watch that movie. Yeah, there was another movie on there called Mercenaries. That had Billy
Mhm.
Zane in it.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
This
no,
isn't that.
no.
No.
Yeah,
Did I
Tubi-
watch the wrong?
Yeah,
I
I'm on
watched the wrong
Tubi, but-
movie.
Yeah, there's like 4 different movies called Mercenaries. Apparently.
Okay.
Okay.
This one
Okay.
has, and Sean is right about this. Zoe Bell is hot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
from
Zoe Bell. Oh, okay.
it's from 2013.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I put it in my list on Tubi so I can make sure I keep up with it.
I have to.
Okay.
I liked it so much. This goofy ass movie. I want to look and see if I can get it on DVD now because it's hysterically bad.
I found it
Okay.
at Dollar Tree. That's where
Did
I
you
found it.
really?
I have it on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
been
where I
out for
found it.
10 years, so it's probably on. Definitely, like you said, Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm mistaken. Well, the movie I watched was bad too. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah,
That's
just I just searched it, and there is like 4 different things called
Yeah.
mercenaries.
I just looked when Sean said about Zoe Bell. I just looked for Zoe Bell mercenaries, and I
Okay.
found it.
That's the only
That's
one that came
hilarious.
up because I didn't look at a different one. I don't remember seeing another one on there, but I'll go back and
Oh, yeah.
check it out. Yeah,
Yeah, if you just type in mercenaries, it's the first one that came up for me just
really.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vivica A. Fox is featured prominently on their artwork, but that's different
Okay.
from the cover of the Blu-ray. It has like 5 of the women on the front with I think
Okay.
Bridget Nielsen, Vivica A. Fox, Zoe Bell, Christina
Yeah, who's the
Lokinen.
other tall blonde in that? I had never seen her
She's
before.
she's the one I'm thinking of is the one that played the Terminator in Terminator 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're
Christina
talking about.
Loken or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, she's in it.
I
Yeah, the-
always liked that movie. I like Terminator 3. I don't know
Mhm.
about a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was all right.
Yeah,
I don't even remember Terminator 3.
Yeah,
Well, you might remember the scene where Schwarzenegger's like, as the Terminator, he's like coming out of, he's like carrying like a coffin, and he's shooting with a chain, with a minigun,
M60.
with
Yeah.
a Gatling gun.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
scene where he's shooting at the cops, like
Mhm.
you might remember that scene. It's another it's a female Terminator,
Yeah.
but she's like a liquid metal over like a skeleton top Terminator. Like she's the newer model, I guess.
Yeah.
They get T-3000 or something like that, isn't it?
Something
think
like
so.
that. Yeah.
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 And that's Terminator 3. I might have to watch that again because I seriously don't even remember anything about that one.
I liked it. It has a different guy as John Connor, so I think that's why people didn't like it. The guy for
Okay, is that Rise of the Machines?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I have it here somewhere, but I definitely have to make it a point to watch that now.
Yeah, I didn't. I liked it all right. A lot of people didn't like it, so it's just one of those movies I thought was good, fun. The last movie that came out wasn't terrible. I haven't liked the last couple that's come out that much.
Yeah, Dark Fate. I went to
Yeah.
the theater to see that. I was disappointed. Genesis, I thought was an interesting concept, but not a particularly great movie.
Executed. Yeah.
Yeah, and what was the other one? The fourth one, Salvation, Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
That was all right. I some of the CGI was kind of sketchy, and I like the CGI Arnie, but it was all right. I mean, they can only do so much with that concept without having to reinvent it every single time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I get those confused, those Terminator movies with another franchise, and I can't think of it right now. I don't know why. It's like only the I did see Dark Fate, and I thought it was okay. Like I'm not really hard on a movie unless it's like really absolutely terrible. Because like Sean said, these people put a lot of work into these movies. So I don't like really scathe them, except the Wild Eye ones.
Yeah, Disney.
Oh
They
yeah,
put a lot
you
of
wanted
work.
to talk about Disney tonight, didn't you?
Not too much. I was just going to tell you
Okay.
that story of why I thought Baby Groot was kind of cheap.
Oh yeah.
Or not Baby Groot, but
Baby
this is
Yoda.
part of the story. But Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah.
And well, one night I went in. I was at the gas station, so I went into the store to get something. And when I checked out, the girl at the register had a Baby Groot T-shirt on, and I was like, I don't know. I was just trying to make conversation with her. I was like, yeah. So, what do you think of the movie? She said, "Oh, I didn't really care. I just like Baby Groot. I didn't care about the movie. Did you like Guardians of the Galaxy 2?" She's like, I said, "Do you like Guardians of the Galaxy?" She said, "No, I just like Baby Groot." So so I was like, that's when I seen Baby Yoda. I was like, it's just a marketing ploy. It doesn't. It's just to sell toys. That's all it is. And
I think they kind of got caught off guard because it was more popular than they thought it was going to be because they didn't have any merchandise ready. and you
Yeah.
couldn't. There, everybody wanted the merchandise for it, and there wasn't
Yeah.
any. So if they thought that
Yeah.
it was going to take off like that, they planned it horribly.
Yeah, I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. Period. At
Yeah,
Disney.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lucasfilm, excuse me. Since Kathleen Kennedy took over, it's just stupid. I don't know who's making the decisions.
What's that famous Kevin Smith line from Clerks where they're talking about Jedi, and Randall goes, "Yeah, 3 is just like all about the fucking Muppets." Or something like that. I always remember him like killing Jedi about that,
Yeah.
And it was just like, don't
Yeah.
talk about the main 3 like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but these are I'll talk about as much as I want because this isn't the main 3. This is Disney. That's why I distinct. There's Disney Star Wars and there's Star Wars because.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, after they pissed on Lucas and didn't work on his ideas at all, after they bought it, like they bought it under like false pretenses, like they were going to kind of make his movies, and then they were like, no, we're just going to remake A New Hope basically for the first movie, and then I don't know what the fuck they did for the second movie, and then the third movie was just like they were trying to salvage what the shit show of the. I always forget the name of the second movie. It's
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, yeah, and they just squandered a chance to have the whole original cast back together again, and never had them together in the movie.
Right.
They never came together. They just completely whatever the hell they thought they were doing with Luke Skywalker's character. I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I kind of like Rogue One a little bit.
Drinking. Yeah, I mean that's fine, but I'm talking about the main trilogy.
Yeah, the main trilogy.
Rogue One was fine, and that Han Solo movie was terrible.
Yeah, the Han Solo.
I like that one.
I liked it too, Sean. I was just going to say that
it's a Star Wars heist movie. It's no better, no worse than that. But it didn't need to be Han Solo. It could have been anybody, but I liked it.
But they just like completely mismanaged this stuff because that was one that they had a good director on at first, and then they fired Kathleen Kennedy fired him. They've had 2 or 3 movies where they've had good directors on board and they fired them. For probably trying to do something good and not trying to make a woke piece of shit.
Yeah. I actually, I thought The Last Jedi. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I like the fact that they tried new stuff and like they threw things out the window and they didn't do things by the book. So I give them credit for trying something new. Like when Rey handed Luke Skywalker the lightsaber and he threw it over his shoulder. I was just like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And
that's stupid, though. I mean,
it's stupid, but it's not the same old shit.
It's not a comedy. These movies aren't they're not slapstick comedies. There can be comedy in it. It's fine, but they're not slapstick comedy. And that's like him drinking titty milk from a fucking.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And just the whole concept, the whole way his demeanor in that movie.
Yeah,
it's just.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that they. What's his name? Rian Johnson. He did some things with that movie that were unexpected left turns, which I know pissed a lot of people off. That whole casino sequence was ridiculous and stupid and not necessary. And there was a lot of plot holes. I'm not saying it was a good movie, but I just applauded it for trying something different and not following the same old like the first one. The first of the new 3 did. Force Awakens, because that was just like you said, a remake of New Hope.
I mean, if he was trying to do that, it's fine, but he just went about it in a horrible way, know. The weird thing is Rian Johnson's a good director, I like some of his other stuff, but I don't know what the hell. I don't know if he was trying to piss on it on purpose or what when he made it, because that is just not a good. And I don't know if that's simply the script that he was given and had to modify it and make it into this, had to try to work with it. I have no idea, but that movie was just, it's such an oddball movie. And he's definitely not the Irvin Kershner of that trilogy
No,
'Cause,
no, by no
you know,
shape or form.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
no,
No.
I
and
would have liked to saw Luke Skywalker more expanded, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's him later, you know, older and stuff.
Mhm.
It just didn't. He wasn't on there very long, you know. He was just
Yeah.
there on that, you know, and it's kind of like,
well,
okay.
he's like all beaten down and like this back, it just not the
Yeah, it's kind of tell us some
well,
backstory on that, you know.
well, Disney threw out all the canon basically.
Mhm.
Like whenever they bought it, they said, well, these books, the books that's been written, all these guys who's been writing books for years, we're not using any of that stuff. That stuff's not canon anymore.
Yeah.
Like which has been considered canon, and you had to basically follow strict things with when you wrote a book, you had to follow strict things for it to be in canon through George Lucas, per George Lucas, excuse me.
Right.
And like when they got it, they said, well, we're throwing all this stuff out. A lot of that had to do with them just wanting to screw over royalties, so they didn't have to pay
Mhm.
royalties. That's why they did a lot of that. And they did the same thing with Marvel. There's a lot of guys that I don't know if they've got paid today through, that wrote, comic book royalties through Marvel. They've done the same thing with them. That's like screwing people over on royalties bad. And like, but that's certainly like, there was a lot of backstories, like a lot of the stuff they're trying to do now, the Thrawn, that was a whole
Mhm.
series, but Thrawn shows up in Ahsoka,
Right.
and it's just horrible. It's just a lot of boring stuff with a little bit. They've tried to throw Anakin in there, try to pull on people's like, I don't
Nostalgia.
know. It's just
Yeah.
nostalgia strings, and which I
Yeah.
I kind of liked. I liked um the Clone Wars stuff. That stuff was pretty good, but I
Mhm.
didn't. This
Mhm.
newest stuff like Rebels, was not so good, and it was some of it's good, but then that's basically what we got going on now. So I know enough of it to understand the show, but I just haven't liked it. It's just not that well done. Rosalia Dawson's just like, she's a good actress, but she's not right for this role.
Mhm.
I don't
I'm not.
think,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar enough with the Clone Wars and the Rebel stuff to know what would be going
Yeah.
on. So I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I really like the whole Clone Wars, the animated series. I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty good. I watched it a lot. My son was at that right age when it was out, and we really dug into it and watched it. So it was,
Yeah.
I don't know about the movies, like I don't know.
Yeah, there was a Clone Wars movie that came out like at the end of the original run of the Clone Wars. Now Disney brought back the Clone Wars. There's one Disney season of the Clone Wars, and I'm trying to think if I've seen it, but I can't remember if I bought it and
No,
watched it or not. I can't remember it now,
yeah,
but
I don't think I've seen that either. Yeah, they brought that back later on. They kind of rebooted
Yeah.
it temporarily, and then
well, they've
Rebels,
done
I
stupid.
never got into it.
They're doing stupid stuff now. It's like they kind of, instead of, the force, they're like, can be, anybody can use the force now. It's not this
Yeah, right.
certain people, and they're doing like really stupid stuff that Dave Filoni's not the genius that people make him out to be. Or maybe he was good in the past, but he's not anymore. Like his stuff is stupid,
Yeah.
Like the first season of The Mandalorian's all right. And then they just got too much into it's just Disney politic bullshit they inject into everything. The force is female, so everything's got to be led by female. There's no men. The men are, completely absent from all the new Star Wars stuff, and
Yeah.
even even the fucking the Obi-Wan series is stupid because it's like
The little girl.
she's led around by the little girl, so it's
I don't know. They've thrown fantasy out the window. It's kind of like,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be this or this. Just I think anybody can follow the role of any hero. In a movie. Luke Skywalker. Say Luke Skywalker, girls and guys. Could. I don't know. I guess we grew up in a time where things were a certain way. We didn't really question it or it was okay, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? And now there's too much emphasis on stuff. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, and they don't rate for the story for the story. They rate it for
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
demographics.
Well, the people who writing the stories don't know how to write a story either. They're
That's
not.
true. And Rise of Skywalker
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Like I was saying the other night, it's an unwatchable hunk of shit.
Well, they just, like I've talked about before, they've just, well, but there's a lot of things that go into it. I just don't like talking about all the political stuff in it, but all the diversity, hiring and people and hiring people like that is, you can't just hire people like that. You got to hire people with experience, and no matter what color their skin are, if they're experienced, they got to, if they're qualified for the job, they're qualified. If it's a white guy, he's qualified. You got to hire him. If it's a girl, black girl, if she's qualified, she's hired. But you can't just hire people to write and direct and produce these movies and television show just for diversity quotas, and that's what they're doing. Like She-Hulk was completely, it was completely a bunch of women, and you can tell it was because it was terrible. And it's not because women do things that are terrible. It's just you could tell the writer's room was just a bunch of, women and like fucking beta cuck men that don't know how to write a woman, and it's just horrible, and She-Hulk was such a good comic, and they made it out to be a joke, and it's already a diverse comic, and it's already about a strong woman, but they don't want that. I don't know what the hell they want. They want strong women, but when they have the opportunity to have a character that's already a strong woman in a popular comic, they don't do it. It's like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel probably could be a good character, but this new movie, the Marvels come, that's going to be a shit show. It'll probably bomb just like all the other stuff.
They're already talking about that. The Marvels. I read something where it was was like over $274 million that they put into that movie with marketing and the movie. So it's going to have to make like over 400 just to cut even.
And theatrical stuff isn't doing that anymore. I don't know.
I think they just need
way too much money. Yeah,
I think you just need to reset things and just kind of reset it all and just kind of go back to the drawing board, I guess, and kind of rethink what they're doing here with this, because they're just, I don't know.
I think the Marvel movies, they ended the perfect. They had the perfect run. They should have just ended it with Endgame and just left everything on the table, because nobody's interested in. There is no continuing story after Endgame. I mean, you tell me what the overarching story of the current Marvel movies is. I can't. And
I think people are just tired of it.
Oh,
you know?
Absolutely.
Well, they wouldn't be if they were making good. Well, it's not if they were making good movies. It wouldn't be. It's like goes back to the westerns. Like the westerns survived for so long because good filmmakers kept making westerns, for years. And good actors were in the movies, but they.
Yeah, but John, they all had
kept making
characters too. I mean, now they're just like dreading everything with this like multiverse shit, and I can't keep up with it. I don't know.
There's good stories to be told. There's good stories to be told, but they're not doing it. They don't have the talent to do it. But what I'm saying is the westerns survived for so long because they kept making good stuff. And they're not. But there were bad westerns, but there were B movies.
What I'm saying, John, and you're right about it, and I think we're both on. But they're not. They were all different characters.
Yeah,
in different ages. You weren't getting like Sean just said. You're not getting like, oh well, we're gonna get like, what is it, Flash? See, I get them confused. I just think they're all superheroes. Like with Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange with the multiverse. I couldn't keep. I've watched that movie 3 times and I still don't know what the hell I watched. The second one with the girl. The girl had, because I even said to my niece, "Oh, the girl's has a Captain America jacket on, so that means something." I'm literally I'm sitting there taking notes because I don't want to seem stupid to my nieces because they're like all into Marvel,
Did you watch WandaVision?
Well, that's another thing. I don't watch WandaVision.
Okay,
So it
that's
was
yeah.
like I didn't know who
Mhm.
the hell the Good Witch was.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Um, they've got way too many tie-ins to way too many products, and you can't
Yeah.
keep track of all that shit.
Mhm.
So if you didn't watch WandaVision, you don't know the full meaning of everything that the Scarlet Witch is going
Yeah.
through in Doctor Strange, the second one. And if you didn't watch it, you just think she's off kilter. And what happened? She used to
Yeah.
be a good person, now she's a bad person. I don't understand.
Yeah,
And
and then before the strike, they were making with the pretty girl from Parks and Rec, the next door neighbor or something. She played Catherine Hahn.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they're making
Yeah.
They're making a whole series with her character. I don't even
Yeah.
know what her character is because I've never seen the show.
I
Which
watched the
character
show
is
and I couldn't
that?
tell you.
Oh, okay. But I was just saying, with like the westerns, you got all different kinds of people on there. You know, all different
Yeah.
kinds of cowboys that didn't have anything to do with the other series.
Yeah, there was no John Wayne cinematic universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I know that's what I'm saying though. But I mean, I'm talking about the overarching comic book movie
Yeah.
thing. It's the comic book movie genre. It's not has nothing to do with. I'm just talking about that as a genre in general.
Right.
You know, not
Yeah.
not. But it could survive because there's great stories. They're not telling them though because they're adapting. What they're doing is like they're adapting modern comics, like stuff that's been made in the last 10 years, the comic books, and they're shit. Like
Mhm.
nobody's reading comic books anymore. The hardcore collector's not buying stuff because it's terrible. And they're adapting the stuff that's terrible that nobody wants to read or nobody wants in the movies. So that's what's getting adapted. They're not adapting the classic stories back in the 70s, 80s, you know, the foundation of the comic book industry, they're not making that stuff. Like I don't want them to make the Fantastic Four because they'll tell them what kind of horrible crap it's going to be.
Well, it's like Spider-Man. You know, how many times have they rebooted it, but all kind of based on the same base storyline? You know, Peter Parker, his uncle Ben dies. You know what I mean? Like they kind of have something, a template, so to speak.
You're breaking up really bad, Mike. Yeah, you're freezing and breaking up real bad.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah, like a lot of the comic book guys. That's what's great about watching Nerdrotic because he was a big comic book guy. That's what it's kind of based around more so. Like I don't base, I don't trust his opinion on a lot. I don't go along with a lot of his movie reviews outside of comic books, but I trust him on comic books because he owned a comic book store and he's very versed in comic books. So that's why I like listening to him. So, but what a lot of the comic book guys talk about is like, we want to like it's a fully formed Peter Parker. We want like a 30-year-old Peter Parker, like not the kid version, like they reboot it every time. So it goes back to the younger, so they can do it with a younger actor. But most people want like a fully formed Peter Parker in his 30s. At the height of his abilities. That's what they want, so if you understand that. And I agree with that. I kind of want something different. I don't mind. I like the new I like I don't mind having the and a lot of these guys though can't stand the Spider-Verse stuff. They can't really stand, even though they're good movies. They like the movies all right, but they don't really like what's his name? Miles Morales. Yeah, they don't like they say, well, Miles Morales is Miles Morales. He's not Spider-Man. And I kind of agree with it a little bit, but at the same time, I still, if it's in a multiverse setting, why can't there be a black Spider-Man? And it's not a race thing they care about. They just, a lot of people like these these guys are your guys' age. They grew up with Peter Parker's Spider-Man. So they don't want him replaced. Really, I understand that sentiment too, but I don't really care one way because I'm not that invested in the comic book characters so much. I have comic books, I've read them, but I don't have boxes and boxes and boxes of comic books. I like some stuff. I know some things, but not much. So, but I personally like the new Spider-Verse movies myself.
Mhm.
I thought that both of them have been pretty good. I thought the last
Mhm.
one was pretty damn good. I thought the animation was pretty spectacular in it.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Kenny? Did I send that to you? Did I
Yeah.
send the digital
Yeah,
copy?
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
But see, I don't like really get into like that's why I watched Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. I thought it was good, but it was like 3 times I watched it, and I just didn't get like all the little, I guess, what do they call them, Easter eggs in it with like all the
Mhm.
different things, and it's just like, dude, I just want to sit down for 2.5 hours and just like lose my mind, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just like
The
kind of
the
be. That's like
the
I didn't have to think about shit like that.
Right.
Well, the problem with that's the problem with comic books. It eventually has to go to space because it's too because the comic book universe is too expand. It's all went to multiverse now.
Comic
A lot of
books will
people
not go
believe
to space until Machete does.
Right.
no,
Machete in space. I'm still waiting
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
but the multiverse stuff. You could have it exist in one universe. You don't have to necessarily do the multiverse stuff. A lot of them say it's kind of a cheap writing trick to go to a multiverse stuff. It's like a shortcut in writing. So
Yeah, it's a way. To
I
cash
haven't
in
read
on-
the comic books in depth enough to get into everything. I just want a good Green Lantern movie. I love the Green Lantern,
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
there's not that movie they made was terrible with Ryan Reynolds. It's just
Yeah.
horrible. Don't make any sense because Jeff Johns he's like a producer on it, and he's like the guy that wrote Green Lantern, and he's the head of DC Comics, or was at one time. I don't know if he still is head of DC Comics, but
Mhm.
it don't make sense that they made that movie. It makes no at all. He wrote the damn books that are great. The series he wrote were great. Wrote, and he's one of the writers, and done that. It's just I can't figure it out why they made that movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the new trailer for Aquaman 2?
Yeah.
No. That's supposed to be horrible too.
Yeah. It looks bad. And I don't know if anybody's going to even care about it because I don't even know if Aquaman's going to be in the DC universe anymore. So
Yeah.
it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, they it's been delayed so long, and then it's been reshot. And no telling what they did with Amber Turd, but her part in it. But her part wasn't real big in it, anyways. But
No.
I don't know if she's going to be in it at all now.
They show a very quick
Yeah.
glimpse of her in the trailer.
Yeah. She's momentarily.
It's
visible.
CGI like so much.
I
Yeah.
can't believe that they even allowed her to be in the trailer because people, after the Johnny Depp trial
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
I
But
don't
still,
know.
there's still people out there who defend her, though.
Hey, she
Oh, of
might be a
course.
wacko, but if she can come to Philly, and I'll call her.
She
Let her do
can,
your-
well, she can come over there and poop on your bed.
Oh, she did that.
Oh God, yeah.
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 Oh hell, I didn't know that.
That was in the trial. Yeah, they were.
Pooped on
Yeah, that was
bed.
part of the trial. Yeah, she.
They
I
canceled that
don't
order.
know the context of it.
Oh, I
She
had
was-
no idea.
Yeah, he came
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
and found obviously crap in his bed
Oh,
or something.
no,
It had,
no.
it had to be left by him. She tried to say it was the dog that did it, but I think it was
Drop it.
kind of human. Yeah.
Oh, I swear I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
She dropped a big steamer on there, I guess.
Yeah.
A Cleveland steamer.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did-
you
I
wouldn't
did-
like her so much after watching all that,
Oh, okay. I just see
Mm.
like I swear that was going on, and I was like totally oblivious to what was going on. I thought it was just like one of those like divorce things, where she wanted like extra money or something. I
No.
swear I didn't know.
You don't
any
know
of it.
that story. You don't know the whole story of it. Yeah, they
No,
basically
dude.
ruined. Why do you think he's not been in movies? Like she got him canceled
Oh, see, I
because
didn't
she
even-
was claiming that he was like abusive and beat on her and stuff, and it was
Oh,
the
wow.
other way around. What it
Yeah.
No,
what it
I,
amounts to.
I,
She was the one abusive. Yeah, she's She's
Wow.
very
Okay, then forget anything I just said
wacko.
about
Yeah,
that.
just like Sean was saying. Yes.
Yeah. She's
She's got a few
She's bad
screws
news,
loose.
huh?
I'm not saying he's an angel. It was probably
No.
pretty heavy-handed on both sides of it, but I don't think he was beating on her. She claimed that he was beating on her. She claimed that he was beating on her, and it would look this. There's a lot of evidence, a lot of audio, and a lot of things. For some reason, they recorded each other a lot, and on
Yeah.
most of the recordings, it was her being verbally abusive and talking about how he was. She had actually physically hit him and beat on him. A lot of the evidence came out about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he
And
lost movie
I
roles
did
as a
not.
result.
I seriously didn't know that, guys. Sorry about that.
See, he got his finger cut off with a wine bottle. He got the end of his finger cut off in Australia when he was filming something. I don't know if it was, and she had thrown a wine bottle at him, and it cut his finger off,
Oh man.
and like in a fight. Yeah, and it came
Wow.
out all that. It was, yeah.
I actually like that movie that they did together, Rum Diary.
Yeah, that's where he met her at.
Yeah, I didn't know any more
Yeah, he
information about her.
hired her.
I even got like a couple of movies that she was in, London something.
Oh, she's beautiful, but
Yeah, she was even in that Kevin Costner movie, where it's over in France or something. 3 to a Kill or something.
yeah,
Oh
she,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was like he was like really sick or something, and she was like the hit person going after him or something, and
3 Days to Kill.
Yeah, there you
Something
go.
like
And he was just like going over there to spend time with his ex-wife and daughter.
yeah. I'm sorry, I just know a lot about the trial. I watched the trial. Like one of the guys that I follow, Nick Ricada, he covered all of it. So
No, that's good to know.
he's like a
I
lawyer.
didn't know any
There were
background.
several lawyers, and there was like several channels like just covering extensively. I don't know why I got into it. I'm not really into celebrity. It was just kind of wild, you know.
Yeah, that was what, last summer.
Yeah.
Okay, last summer I was watching Bluey, Jesse, anything on the Disney Channel that were like for like teenagers.
So.
I think that's why I totally missed it.
Yeah, who wasn't on the Disney Channel?
Yeah,
No.
it wasn't. I don't think it was on Disney Plus, right?
Disney Plus exclusive.
Yeah, so it was like
Yeah, but he lost roles. He lost like the Jack Sparrow role because of it,
Oh, okay.
and he lost like his role in the Harry Potter stuff, the
The Fantastic Beasts and
Fantastic
Yeah,
Beasts
I
movies, yeah.
thought I just thought it was. I knew they were married to each other, so
Yeah.
when I heard about it, I was like, oh, another stupid like divorce thing, you know. And it was like I didn't follow it just because of that, you know. But I had
Yeah.
no idea all this stuff
Yeah.
was going.
Yeah.
Probably should have watched that instead of like Jesse and Sabrina the Teenage Witch again. You know?
It was pretty good. It was some good acting on both. Well, it was good acting on Johnny Depp's part, and she was terrible. No, he was pretty honest, you know, but he definitely knows how to work a
Well, if he
crowd.
was getting
Oh, yeah.
abused, I mean,
Yeah.
what? How did he have to lie?
He didn't, but
Oh,
she
he
was
didn't
definitely
lie.
lying. Yeah, like
he was-
there was like this really good looking female prosecute on the prosecution. Is that right? Or the defense? Excuse me, the defense lawyer. She was a good looking girl, better looking than Amber Heard, and
Oh,
she
wow, really?
she tore Amber Heard apart on the stand. Just looks like yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like on court TV and stuff all day, like live.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was so good. She got a deal with like NBC News. She's like on NBC now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a commentator. Yeah. So.
Well, I guess something good came of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's starting to be in stuff now, isn't he? I mean,
yeah,
not with the
I think
strike, but I think he got announced that he was going to be in some stuff again.
I know he was in like a French movie, but I know if you're talking about Hollywood, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was he's probably
Kinda
going to. I
vindicated.
haven't heard anything so far, but
I
they
did
talked
read
about
that-
trying to bring you back to Jack Sparrow Road for
Mm-hmm.
another Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't know if he'll go back to Disney or not because they're one of the companies that kind of badmouthed him. The whole it's all part of the whole Me Too thing.
Yeah.
Kenny, that believe all women bullshit.
Yeah, well,
And-
I watched that movie.
Yeah.
She Said. Did you guys see that one?
Not yet.
It's on the Peacock, and
Mhm.
wow, that blew the whole Weinstein thing up.
Yeah.
That was the story behind the whole Weinstein. Yeah, he was not a nice man. That guy.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
There was good things that come out of that, but the problem is it the whole movement kind of took on a life of its own and kind of
Mhm.
went to places it shouldn't have, like
Well,
that.
at
There's
least
a
you're
lot
getting
of those. There's a
Pigs
lot of
out of
those.
there, you know.
Huh?
At least you're getting a lot of the pigs that are, that were doing the nasty stuff.
Yeah, I think it's running a lot of cover. It runs a lot of cover for the pedophiles that kind of run rampant there. You don't hear
just
about them.
speaking of that, I want you got your opinion about this. Can you guys watch a Kevin Spacey movie anymore without thinking about all that stuff that he did? I
Yeah,
love.
I can.
Can you? I can't.
Well, he was
I-
found innocent of all that stuff. Kevin Spacey was.
But there was just too many people that came up from that,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
So it's he might have.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that he probably is some kind of pervert.
Yeah, it just stuff kind of
Well, see with Johnny Depp, they all turned their backs on him before he was even,
Yeah.
court or anything.
Oh, okay.
They just did that whole knee slap reaction to it all, and
Yeah.
then his career's messed up. I'm sure he's a very wealthy man still, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still like. I don't like the guilty till proven innocent theory. It's the other way around. It's innocent till
Mhm.
proven guilty in this country, but it's not how it works in the court of public opinion,
yeah,
unfortunately. But I don't like that. I don't like cancellation and stuff. That's what they're canceling people is such a big thing now. Over nothing. It's just like what they're doing to Russell Brand right now.
Mhm.
Like most of the stories about him supposedly doing that are completely ludicrous.
Mhm.
It's always somebody you dated, like happened 20 years ago. They never said anything, and now it's yeah, it was funny. I was telling you guys about Anna, that Star Wars girl. She comes on some other live streams that I watch, and she was on there they were talking about it last night about it, and she got her Barbie dolls out and was recreating there's no way that that girl could have been in this position if he was trying to do this, there's no way he could have been in this position, it's yeah, but it's just ridiculous. It's just he's out there, on a certain telling certain things politically, on a certain spectrum politically, and they don't like it, so they're trying to bring them down a peg.
That's
Got nothing to do with him doing any of that stuff. Because he's came out. I mean, he has written. I think he did write a book where he talks about he did have a sexual addiction,
Mhm.
but he wasn't out raping women though. He just had a problem, back when he was
Mhm.
younger, and he had to. Then I think that's where it all stems from. It's oh yeah, he's an easy target.
Yeah.
He wrote this book and all this stuff. He's an easy target for this stuff, and they all the women they only came forward after they were approached by a reporter about it and paid also. I don't know how much they were paid, but they were paid to this story.
Mhm.
So, and none of it's
Yeah.
it's just none of it really amounts to anything if you actually read into the stories. It's things he was doing were not rape. He was dating these women. It's not I think they're all I don't know if all of them were, but I think they were mostly women he were actually dating, and they were
Mhm.
Like one girl was 16, but the age of consent in the UK is 16, so they're not underage.
How
And
old was he?
I don't know, probably in his 20s or maybe 30s, but
Hmm.
he's a celebrity, you know.
Well, his thing was
But it's UK that the age of consent 16.
yeah.
You can drink at the age of 16 in the UK. So I mean, the law's the law. I mean, if it's shit, I know it's shit, but that's the law's the law. Fortunately, and the mom knew he was dating her. It didn't have any problem with it. You're dating a
Wow.
rich celebrity. He was a celebrity at this point.
Yeah.
I think
my
this
whole
was
point
back in
was,
the
like,
get
bringing
him
a
to the Greek.
32-year-old,
Yeah.
bringing a 32-year-old to eat meatloaf.
I don't know if that's how old he was, or I don't know if that's
Yeah.
how old he was or not at the time. I'm sorry, but yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
I'm just
weird.
saying.
But
Yeah.
but that's a
It's a
story
bad
as old as
position.
time, and that's a story as old as time in like fucking Hollywood. There's a
Yeah.
lot of worse stories than that.
Yeah. No
That
matter what
whole
you're-
the Roman
what-
Polanski. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
No matter what position you're in, just stay away from younger chicks. Just,
I mean, can you watch Roman Polanski? Because what he's done
No.
was just as bad.
There's,
You know.
and I can't get into Woody Allen movies either.
Yeah, I'll watch like Chinatown. It's like one of the best movies ever made. It's one I can watch.
Mhm.
I separate that stuff, even though in Woody Allen, I don't know the actual truths. The thing about Woody Allen, it's not necessary. It's a little bit of a cop out, but he's still married to that girl. It's not
But
like
he's
he
known
was.
her all of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
she like 6? She was like 16 or something. So
Yeah.
But just think, if you were, that
it would be something I would do. I wouldn't go out and try to find a 16-year-old girl.
Exactly.
But I know it's horrible, but it don't make me stop. I like his movies, so
Yeah, I can't
won't stop
separate
one.
the two with that. With
Yeah.
me, as much as I love Usual Suspects, and I thought that was like one of the greatest. I remember sitting in the movie theater when that went on, and you heard like a gasp at the end, like
Mhm.
everybody going like that,
Yeah.
at the end, and it
Yeah.
was just like, that was like a very cool experience. But I just can't see myself watching that again with him in it,
Yeah.
knowing
Well,
what he did.
Well,
Well,
what's
it's
worse
probably
is the
creepier American
director.
Beauty. Yeah.
Well, the director, Brian Singer, if you look him up, he's
Yeah.
got a lot of issues,
Oh, is that
He did-
right?
Yeah,
he directed
he's-
The Usual Suspects. And
Yeah, he's definitely been linked to diddling kids, I think. And is it kids or is it like rape or something? I don't know.
it's like
He's had
it's like
accusations.
it's like preteen boys or something weird. Like
Yeah.
I saw this
Yeah.
documentary, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, Hollywood and Washington DC is filled with that degeneracy, the child trafficking and everything.
Yeah, that was like with
pretty bad.
Sound of Freedom. I couldn't get through 20 minutes of it. That really upset me too much. I guess it's
That's a
just,
great movie. That's a good movie.
I just got
You don't see any of it in there, man.
dude. It's just implied, and I can't get my head like wrapped around
It's
it.
about
Anything hurt women or
it's about freaking going after the people who's doing that stuff. That's what that guy does.
Yeah, he's a better man than me. That he did it. I just couldn't. I'd beat the living shit out of somebody that did that to
That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. He's
Okay,
going
well.
after and killing these people. They have a whole organization who do that. They like infiltrate these groups, and like they basically pose as people who's trying to buy the kids, and then they infiltrate them, and then they go in and arrest all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even arrest these people.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. It's under dirty secret, not so secret anymore. And all that,
Yeah. the whole movie's good. It's actually was put together well. Did you see it, Sean?
I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either.
See, the thing is like it got people scream. It got a lot of flack when it came out. People, well, there's like stupid people out there saying, "Oh, it's talk," kind of give it, it's saying like, well, it's made by this Christian group. It was bought by the Angel Studios. It was bought by Angel, but it was made by Fox. Disney owned this movie. It was end up being a hit, and they sold it because they didn't want to release something like that. Something with a positive message. And they made money, a lot of money on this movie for its production and production budget, and Disney got rid of it in a summer that they were fucking losing billions, left and right on movies. It's phenomenal how stupid they are.
Well, that could be one of the Oscar nominees
but it was made by Fox before. Right. It was made by Fox before Disney bought Fox.
Right.
And they just had it in the catalog, and they sold it for nothing. They sold it for like I don't know. It was a little bit of nothing. A few $1 million or something, I believe. It wasn't much. And it's made like over $200 million now, Mac.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Of course, it's got probably a big right wing, a lot of people going to see it just to see it, like that. But it was a good movie, though. As somebody that watched a lot of movies, it was a good movie in general. It was well made. Yeah. But Polanski, I was talking about Polanski. Polanski, I mean, he shouldn't have done what he's doing anyways. He should have known better. But I believe that girl's mom I think she was like prostituting that girl out too. She should have been put in jail. She should have been put in jail for sure. The mom.
It was at least good parenting.
Yeah. It's pretty horrible what she was doing, but that's what she was doing. But Polanski should have known she was 13 or whatever she was. I've seen pictures of her. I've seen those documentaries about it. And she was like, she didn't look 13, but he should have known better. Her mom was bringing her to his house. So it was something. She didn't look 13, but she didn't look 18,
Right.
Yeah.
Was she going to school?
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying. It's like, oh yeah, my daughter's in 7th grade. That would kind of give.
I don't think she cared. See, there's some weird accusation. There's like a lot of weird undertones about like his relationship with Sharon Tate too. Like before she was murdered. Like they found like there was supposedly like film found in the attic above like their bedroom at the Tate house. Like supposedly the cops found it, and I think they put it back, and he came back and got it later. But it was like film of him basically shooting movies of her having sex with other guys, but him forcibly making her do it and stuff like this. So
I never heard
that's it's.
And who's this? Polanski?
There's no offense. Yeah, Polanski. Yeah, he was married to Sharon Tate. The Helter Skelter married to. Yeah, he was married to Sharon Tate when that happened. He was out of town when it happened, though. He was like in England at the time I talked about it on that last video when I talked about when I have that laser disc of The Year of the Dolphin. He was originally the director for that movie, and that happened, and he ended up not being able to make it. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things around it. A lot of hearsay and stuff that's not necessarily proven, but there's a lot of weird things about his behavior in those days. But
yeah, I don't know, man. It's a sticky subject.
Yeah. Yeah, there's supposedly certain weird kind of parties and things that went on there. I don't know, not necessarily saying that he was 100% guilty of kind of sexual depravity, because she might have been into it too, but a lot of it supposedly is him filming. But he was forcing her to do some of that stuff. It's the accusations. There's no proof of it. It's just
Yeah.
I've never read a book I've never read any books on it that talk about that exclusively. It just comes up in other subject matter dealing with Helter Skelter and stuff like that. The Manson cult, things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it gets interesting around that. I'd love to go to. I'd love to. That I've never been to Los Angeles, but I love to go because there's this guy out there who he runs the Dearly Departed tour, and he also had he used to,
Oh, yeah.
it used to be a museum. It used to be a museum. He used to own a museum that had all the weird stuff, like death related stuff to celebrities in it,
Mm-hmm.
and but he also ran a tour called the Dearly Departed tour, which he took people. He had different. He had a Helter Skelter tour he did on the weekends. He would take people around. Then he done the like different tours where he would take people around to where famous people were murdered or famous deaths. So I thought that would be the kind of cool stuff. It would be cool to me. It'd be better to me doing that than doing like a regular Hollywood tour, like the celebrities' houses.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's actually interesting. Scott Michaels is his name. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's a gay guy, but he's not like real flamboyant but nothing. But he's funny. He does these interviews where he knows people who he'll find people who knew like celebrity, like Frank Sinatra or something. He'll interview people who were close to these people that and but he always brings up like he always talks about like he's supposed to have a big one, didn't he? Supposed to have a big penis, on all of his interviews. It's funny, but he does a lot. He has a lot of Hollywood stories and stuff. Mainly he talks about, but
it's full of stories.
Have you seen some of his stuff, Mike?
Yeah, I watch it occasionally. Yeah, some cool stuff.
It's interesting.
Yeah, he had that museum, and I think it closed down around the
COVID,
pandemic.
didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing now, but he's still doing the channel.
I'm pretty sure he's still doing the tours because I was talking to that one girl I know. I was talking to them, Analyzing Horror. She was in LA a couple of weeks ago, and I say, yeah, you should go to, she's a horror person. I said, you should go take his tour. And so I had to look up, I couldn't remember his name when I was talking to her. So I had to look it up, and it still looks like he's still booking tours. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get a kidney, I'm going to go to LA once I get off this shit. So dialysis, I can't travel with it really now. So when I go, that's what I was going to do before this happened. And then the pandemic happened, like right when this happened. So it was kind of, I wouldn't have been able to win anyway. So hopefully I'm going to get out there and go see it.
You don't want to go and see like where TV's Chachi ate a hot dog?
Yeah. I'm not a morbid person. I don't really have I don't really like graveyards in general. I don't like funeral homes at all. I don't like going to funerals. So if I hate the smell, but I would like to go to the Hollywood, cemeteries and see where the famous people are buried. It's just interesting. There's ever seen these channels? These guys go around and document famous graves.
Did you see the Lemon grave?
Who?
Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, I think so.
It says Jack Lemmon, and then it says in.
Yeah.
I swear that it does. If you look it up on the Yahoo, that's his gravestone. It says Jack Lemmon in.
Yeah.
I guess his sense of humor, but I thought it was kind of funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was going to go over here to the Lexington Cemetery. That's where Jim Varney's grave is. I was going to make a video over there. I never did do it though. Ernest P. Worrell, Jim Varney. Yeah, he's buried in Lexington. Yeah, I never did do it though. Yeah, I do need to do
it
that.
Now.
Yeah, I need to
pick a day and just go.
Yeah, it's still warm. I probably should do that sometime. Yeah.
You could dress up as Ernest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dress as Ernest.
Hey, Jim. Jim, you there? Jim.
They burn.
Avern.
It's funny.
Yeah, he got his start around this area. It's kind of the tri-state area where he kind of got his start around here doing television.
That show
think
was really
we're-
funny.
The Jim Varney, he had a show that came out. This is after he started doing it, after he's famous. But he did commercials originally where he
Mhm.
would.
Mhm.
Wasn't it
Where
Sprite?
were they originally filmed at, Mike? They were, I think, filmed in Nashville maybe, but I mean they
Yeah.
aired around this area, so it was kind of a regional thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was regional. It got pretty popular.
It was different things. Didn't he do different products after he kind of got well known?
Yeah, I was trying to think like he did some like I don't know if they were grocery stores or like
Yeah.
chips or something like that.
Yeah.
Different things like that.
Did he do radio too?
That I don't
I'm not
know.
real. Yeah, I'm not really
Oh,
sure about
I
that.
just know that's how Larry the Cable Guy got his start on Florida radio, and he was just he knew the DJ and he would just come in at like 12:30 in the afternoon or something like that and just come up
Yeah.
with like this like 5-minute bit,
Mhm.
and then they had the guy got hired to like the morning show, and he'd bring them in and just sit in, sort of just like and talk about it, and he just came up with this Larry the Cable Guy character. So I didn't know if that's how Ernest came in with his stuff, because a lot of those like bits come up with like morning radio.
He
and
was
stuff like that.
he was an
Mhm.
actual actor before. I think he actually did dramatic acting. He's like
Oh,
actually
okay.
like class. Yeah. I think he went to the University of Kentucky. I think he studied there, I believe. I met a guy, an older guy, like this is 25 years ago. I met a guy and he was talking about how he knew him in college or something like that. He knew him back in the early days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a long career before he got famous. He did this and that for a long time, commercials and all that. Yeah.
Do you know that they had, I missed it and didn't know anything about it, Mike, but they had a Harry Dean Stanton festival in Lexington, I guess at the Kentucky
Oh.
Theater. I knew
Mhm.
nothing about it. Like a guy that I knew, a comic book guy, artist guy that I knew in Lexington, he helped them out with it, and he had posted pictures on the internet that somebody brought like a recreation of the car from Two-Lane Blacktop.
Oh
And,
wow.
like, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? How did I not know about this?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Were they showing movies and stuff or?
yeah, it was like I think it was like a film festival and some like Harry Dean Stanton kind of thing they had. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I would have came to it if I'd known about it. He's like, yeah, only reason I knew about it is because I helped him out. I helped with some work with it, but yeah.
Yeah, recently up here, they had it was like a VFW or something like that. Like they had the Smokey and Bandit semi, snowman's semi.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
completely restored and everything. And I found out about it and I was like, oh, man, it was 2 days ago. I was like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I would have, at least checked it out. It was interesting. Yeah. So they probably had some Trans Ams and stuff,
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it was like, that's cool.
Well, fellas, I think it's over 3 hours, so I think I'm about
Oh,
ready
wow.
to cut on out of here. Had a good
Alright.
time though. Yeah.
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 You guys want to give I'll give you mine. It's The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the remake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check that out.
Yeah. Maybe we'll concentrate on that, and I don't know if I really have a pick.
You got one, Sean?
Oh, I gave mine earlier. That was an angel of mine.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
right.
I have that.
Mike,
Okay.
you got one?
I think I'm gonna try. I think try to watch Mercenaries actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know what you think of it.
The right one.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
right
Yeah.
one, not the one that John watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all been talking about it so much. I was like, well, I'm gonna check this out.
I was going to show you this, Mike. I don't know if I showed this last week or not. It's like an
Oh
international
no,
Blu-ray of Grand Prix.
that's a good movie too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have it on Laserdisc, but I've never owned it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have it on Laserdisc too. Yeah.
You guys need to check out One Punch. I'm telling you, it's good. I've got the second season here, and that second season of anime here of One
Yeah.
Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah, I'll check that out when we get
Yeah.
Netflix back.
Yeah, I got only movie I picked up this week. I don't know if you've seen this, Infinity Pool.
Oh, how was that? A lot of people been talking about that.
What is
I
that?
really, Infinity Pool. It's directed by David Cronenberg's son. I thought it was pretty good. It's got Mia Goth from the X movie, and it's got Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, okay.
He was like in True Blood and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of different stuff, and I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty weird at times. It's whacked out, but it's pretty interesting. It's kind of a sci-fi / horror type of movie. It's one of those movies you can watch a couple times and see different things each time.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
That's on the Hulu, guys.
Is it?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
That's on Hulu.
yeah. I
I'll
thought
pick that up.
it's kind of that season to watch some weird, scary, stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. But that's about it. It's been kind of a slow week for me.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something to suggest myself. I hadn't been thinking about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll probably just. What was that one movie?
Well,
Sean
why don't you guys
Angel?
watch Birdemic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
that's the one that I thought you recommended.
I'll make that. You guys can watch that one.
Angel of Mine, Mike.
Okay,
2000
Angel.
2019.
Oh, okay. And Birdemic stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause I
and
think
and
if-
Birdemic. That's all. That's on Tubi.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
And Angel of Mine is on Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look
Awesome.
for Angel of Mine on Tubi, you'll get the original version, which is the French version. And,
So this is a remake.
yeah, it's a remake. It was originally called Mark of an Angel, the French
okay.
version, but the new one is an Australian movie. It's
Awesome.
it's
Cool.
I mean, it's not great,
Awesome.
but I kind of liked it. So.
No,
Awesome.
Yeah.
some movies don't have to be, as long as it holds your attention these days.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
It's one of those movies where I was watching it and I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this again. And then it hooked
Awesome.
me, and then by the end of it, I'm like, all right, that got me. So
Yeah. I'll check those out.
Yeah, and that one that I reviewed on my channel, SUBURRA. That
Suburra.
you guys definitely have to check that one out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check
Suburra.
that one out.
Which one was it?
Uh, I call it Suburbia, but it's
Suburra.
SUBURRA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that video.
Suburra.
Yeah, that movie is absolutely tremendous.
Which
Really good
Suburbia? The Richard Linklater one or the?
movie. No, this one.
You guys remember
is
that?
an Italian
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
Yeah.
from 2015.
Yeah. And then there's that older version.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
like the punk scenes and that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody. I think I'm ready to get off here. So.
All right.
So
Thanks, guys.
yeah. Thanks everybody for showing up tonight who stopped by and listened to this bullshit. So
BS
So-
section.
oh well, I guess that's it. So
All right.
I'll
Have a
talk to you
good
guys
week,
later.
everybody.
Everybody see you later.
Have a good week.
All right.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah. See you
Yeah.
guys
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye bye.